What is going on, dudes and dudettes, gamers and gamettes, lads and lassies? Welcome back to another episode of Games and Gamers. Danger again is not here. I think these Final Fantasies really took its toll on him because he didn't get 16 beat and hasn't even started Rebirth. That's why this one's a little bit behind schedule. Not by much, it's a day. But I want to talk about it anyway, because I like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm not going to sit and wait forever to get it beat, to get this episode out. I may do this one a little longer. It'll be similar to the Final Fantasy XVI one, where it was a short, sweet, to the point, but this one will definitely be a little bit longer, because I'm a lot more attached to Final Fantasy VII than I was to 16. As much as I like 16, don't get me wrong, I love 16. It was my favorite game made in 2023. I have a better connection with 7 because I've grown up with 7 around my whole life. But it doesn't change the fact of some issues I will have with this game. But might as well go into some of our stuff. Right now I got my What the Media is. I'm actually getting packed, getting ready to go visit Danger. I don't know if that counts as media, but I'll be getting that ready for our 1 year, or getting packed so I can get ready for our 1 year thing, which will be coming out after this one. Game-wise, playing The Last of Us Part 2. I've beat Transistor. By this point, I've beat Gears of War. I'm in the middle of Star Ocean Verse Departure R, and I'll probably be playing Evil West and Dead Island. I mean, I started Evil West last night on my own thing. Brian and I played it on my channel, streamed it on his end because he was the host of it, and then it stopped working. Like, we hit near the end of the game, the mission stopped working. So I'm going to hopefully get caught up on there. Maybe while I'm down in Texas, maybe whenever I get back, I'm not entirely sure. And I've been playing a little bit of Firewatch. Firewatch is just a fun little cathartic game, honestly. But I kind of think that's really it, in all honesty, of media-wise right now. Oh, no, I saw the Godzilla and Kong New Empire movie. I was kind of disappointed with it. The movie itself had a lot of kaiju action, had a lot of kaiju stuff, but it felt very similar to the 2016 Godzilla movie, where, yeah, sure, kaiju, like Godzilla, it's a Godzilla movie. It's Godzilla and Kong, yes. But Kong was like the main character of it, which does not bother me at all. He was in the Godzilla vs. Kong movie. He was the main character, quote unquote. But at least they kind of had like almost equal times for both of them, I feel like. This one didn't. Godzilla, it's nearly a 2-hour movie, like an hour and 50 that long, like an hour and 50 movie. And Godzilla maybe had 20-25 minutes in this movie, whereas Kong had an hour. That's probably the wrong numbers, because they had a lot of focus on the humans too, which I'm iffy about. I mean, I know humans have to have some plot going on. It can't just be monsters all the way around. But I feel like the humans had a little bit too much focus in this one, because Gia, the deaf girl from Skull Island that, like, I don't know, like, connected with Kong, had her own little plot going on, which, though cool, should have been its own separate thing outside of this Godzilla vs. Kong movie. My personal opinion. Oh, that's neat. If you stop moving, the timer stops counting. That's cool. But I think outside of that, that's really it. Like, honestly, that's kind of really it in the media department that I can think of, unless there's something I'm just forgetting. I might be. But, yeah, so let's get into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a sequel to the 2020 Final Fantasy VII Remake. We actually did an episode on that, link down below, if you want to go check it out. And we both thought really highly of that. Like, as a game itself, we thought highly of it. I thought low of it because until the entire trilogy is done, I'm going to say this complaint over and over and over. They took one single game and split it into 3 full games, and it's a cash grab. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody's been able to come up with any logical reason as to why it makes sense, because every logical reason is thrown out the window because it's a full game. It's a full game. I didn't say it's not a full game. They just took a full game and split it into 3 full games that they're releasing separately at full price. And money doesn't bother me. Then that's not the issue with money. The money doesn't bother me. I bought the deluxe editions of both of them right now. Literally, I bought Final Fantasy VII Remake deluxe editions twice. So I have a physical copy now and a digital one, so I can sit next to my Rebirth. Money doesn't bother me. It's the fact they took this one game and split it up and are expanding the story. Yes, that's 100% fine by me, but there was no need to split it up. They could have waited for PS6, which I know PS6, some people out there, even Danger included, whenever I say release the game at once, have a hard time fathoming release it later. Like, I've gotten a discussion with Danger more than once whenever I say, hey, they should have released the game all at once. And his always response is, well, the PS4, and everybody else's too, not just him, but a lot of people, well, the PS4 could not handle this. Okay. Then don't release it to PS4. That's just logical. Use your brain. If this can't handle it, wait until the machine can handle it. There you go. I don't know why I'm learning this as I'm now diving deeper into gaming stuff. Not all. This is going to be a wide spectrum, and not all of them. I'll say this right now. Not all gamers are like this, but a lot of gamers are idiots. Wholeheartedly, they are idiots. Like they follow. They're good at bandwagoning. I think is the easiest way to phrase it is they're really good at bandwagoning off of stuff. Like Rise of Ronin. Rise of Ronin's been out for maybe a week or so now, and I've heard nobody talk good about it. All I've ever heard people talk about is, oh no, the graphics suck. I've heard nothing outside of that. And kind of, why? Why is that the case? Let me turn up the music a tad. Why is that the case? Why do we care so much about how the graphics look and not so much the game itself? This game could have 1,000 hours worth of content. I don't think it does, but it could, and you're complaining about the graphics. We live in an era now where you'd think that graphics don't matter. Look, like indie games, they're popular. And Lethal Company looks like a VHS tape movie, and I know it's popular. I think it still is popular, getting all sorts of stuff done with it. Dragon Ball Xenoverse, it's not as popular, but it's still getting stuff. All these things that aren't the high-end graphics are still getting updates to them. Fortnite, it's free, yes, but Fortnite isn't the best-looking game out there. It's still getting updates, yet nobody's complaining about how that one looks. I think people are just nitpicky. I genuinely think people are nitpicky. Now, $70 price tag. If you're griping about the $70 price tag on it, I still don't agree. Because this game, what I've seen about it, I'm going to be getting Rise of Ronin probably after I come back from visiting Danger, is a massive game. It's like Ghost of Tsushima kind of massive. And I think it's bigger than Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know. I'll retract my statement. I don't know anything about it. I don't know enough about it. But anyway, I digress on that. We're not here to hear me bitch about video games. You probably are. But we're actually going to go through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, I was hyped up for Rebirth. I played the demo, both of the demos, and I had a lot of fun with the demos. It was fun because they've upgraded the combat system of this. I really liked the combat system of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I truly do that. Like, I can't remember what it is. The action-based, whatever. With the ATB gauge that you just play, and as you play, you build up. I really like that. That was done really well. I like that. 7 Rebirth does it a lot better, and more now that I'm another 20 hours into the game, 15-ish almost. I really like how they've done the combat. I like the combat itself. The combat is done well. They now have perfect blocks, which thank God. Now I'm actually using block. If you want to go see me play through it the first time, I got a link down below to my all-around gaming channel. Go check it out. I'm halfway through the game, I think. I don't know where I am, honestly. But I'm like halfway through the game, I want to say. And I'm liking the combat. It gets annoying at some parts, like there's like some bosses that are annoying, but that's more of me not being good enough to beat them until I do beat them. And they also have a new thing called Synergy. Synergy is probably my favorite part of the combat in this game, whereas you have 2 characters. Let's see if I can't do anything because my characters are too strong for what I'm doing right now. But you have, like, basically you have Red and Cloud. As they fight through, they use magic abilities, whatever. They have a little gauge at the bottom of the screen on their little health bar that, as it fills up, allows them to do a special ability, which is the synergy attack, which each one of them, every character has their own unique synergy with every other character, which is freaking cool. I like that. And they all have different abilities. Some of them give you unlimited magic. Some of them, like debuff. Some of them just buff. Some of them also give you the ability to hit a level 2 limit. So in Final Fantasy VII Remake, you had 2 limits. You started off everybody with their initial one, then you went the Corneo Cup to get the second limits for characters. This game starts you off with second limits. You just have to use them, get them by using synergy. And though I haven't got it, it even has level 3 limits, which I've seen one of them. One of them was Cloud's finishing touch, which is actually kind of cool. I just don't like that they have it limited to that. And another issue is I'm playing through this, I don't care so much on them leaving with their initial limits. Like a Cloud. Cloud's gone through his whole fun little journey, has evolved as a character, and still uses cross slash. He should have started off with Ascension and then gone to finishing touch. Barrett should have had Catastrophe into frickin' Anger Max or whatever you wanted to do it. But they didn't do it like that. I mean, it's whatever. It's whatever. It's a small little nitpick I have, as I wish they had their level 2s in this game were the level 1s, and the level 3s in this game were the level 2s. And that's more of just a little nitpick. It's like I wish, not even I hate. But let's actually get started with the game. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth starts off with a flashback. I'm not a fan of how they did this, actually. Me personally. Is they start off with a flashback. They skip the journey from... Actually, no. Game starts out truly with a flashback, sort of, retelling everything that happened at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, oh, we were... all these characters, these heroes, this mercenary, these 2 eco-terrorists, and a flower girl, and a lab rat dog, met, fought a man with long gray hair and a long sword, and then fought the arbiters of fate. It's stuff like that. I might clip that in. We'll see.
When there is so much to tell, where should I even start? With all that we saw, what we heard, what we felt, this planet of ours, destiny, our part in it. Best to start at the beginning, perhaps. Midgar, the city of Mako, ruled by the Shinra Electric Power Company, who drained the planet of its very essence, the life stream, and processed it for industry as Mako. Our world was dying, and so few could hear her cries for mercy. Those who could rose up in her defense. The anti-Shinra rebels, Avalanche. Among them, Cloud Strife, an ex-soldier hired by the Resistance to destroy Reactor 1. In Sector 8, amidst the aftermath of the attack, Cloud met a flower seller named Aerith. She offered him a yellow blossom, one said to symbolize reunion. And thus was destiny set in motion. With Reactor 1 gone, Avalanche set their sights on Mako Reactor 5. Unfortunately, they were playing right into Shinra's hands. The company was able to draw the wool over the people's eyes. And in the end, destroyed Sector 7, killing thousands and laying the blame at Avalanche's feet. Though dear friends were lost, Avalanche had no time to grieve. Aerith had struck a deal with Shinra, who took her into custody. With her capture, Shinra's obsession was within reach. The fabled Promised Land. For Aerith was the last of the Cetra, the ancient stewards of the planet. And only she could guide them to paradise. To save her, the team infiltrated the Shinra building, the company's beating heart. It was here that I, another prisoner, joined their story and assisted them in freeing Aerith. Yet during our flight, we came face to face with a man thought dead. The vaunted war hero, Sephiroth. Before he could be stopped, Cloud's foe fled with the corpse of Jenova, the cataclysm from the stars and the catalyst of our plight. Eventually, we too made good our escape. Pursuing troopers defeated, we raced toward Midgar's edge. Yet Sephiroth once again intervened. Suddenly, deafening screams rent the air. Whispers, the arbiters of fate, descended upon the city. Before their imposing wall, Aerith warned us. This was Destiny's crossroads. Every moment, every action, every step taken had all been as the Whispers willed it. To fight them was to break free. On the other side of fate, Sephiroth waited, the Whispers undulating within him. Cloud brought his blade down upon his rival, sundering destiny. With the fight won, and the shackles of destiny broken, we stood before the unknown, a world of boundless freedom. It was there, beyond where fate could follow, that a new journey began.
If I did, I just played. So you have, then it cuts to them in the flashback, Cloud telling a flashback of how Sephiroth went from somewhat decent guy, because he used to be a hero in the soldier world, to big bad villain. And I'm also going to be going through this a little bit quicker, too, just because this is a longer one, and I don't want it to be a 5-hour one like Rebirth, Remake. Danger's not here anyway, so it won't be that long. So it won't be long for the conversation. But I'll try and go through this a little quicker while going thoroughly into it. So you start off as Cloud and Sephiroth going through Nibelheim in a flashback. You get to play as Sephiroth, which is really cool. I like his little moveset. You see Nibelheim. Nibelheim is home to a reactor, like a reactor that's kind of run down. They were sent to go check out what's going on with it because of some weird power fluctuations. They go inside, they make it into it, and Sephiroth starts going crazy. Because Jenova, he talks about his mother Jenova, and in there is a thing called Jenova. Makes him start going crazy. Like, literally, this is where he starts going crazy, is, oh no, Jenova, that's the name of my mother. Am I human? Is this my mother? Does somebody happen to be named Jenova? Who knows? Go back to Nibelheim Village. Sephiroth locked himself in the Shinra Mansion, reading all these books. Cloud goes and checks on him once, and Sephiroth's like, hey, did you know this? Yeah, you didn't. Leave. Leaves. Cloud comes back like 2 or 3 days later. I think it's 2 or 3 days later. Sephiroth is still down there, but he's gone ballistic. And basically, he literally is insane, talking about, my mother was Jenova. This is my planet. This planet was her birthright. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. That's kind of all it was, is that he destroys Nibelheim in a really cool fashion. I did like seeing the updated graphics to it, so Sephiroth's old iconic look, where he just stares back through the fire and goes on through. Cloud makes his way to the Nibelheim reactor as he's telling this whole story. You see Tifa there. She gets sliced by Sephiroth. Cloud goes in to fight Sephiroth. And then flashback ends. Everybody's upset. I do want to say one fun thing about this, because those who have played Final Fantasy VII Remake should know about, not Final Fantasy VII Remake, stupid, have played Final Fantasy VII know the story twists that do happen within Final Fantasy VII that have not hit remake yet, the remakes. I like the detail they've put into it because they are absolutely hinting at it. It's foreshadowing at its finest right now for some of these things. I really appreciate how they've done this. They even had it with a flashback, in the flashback kind of showing that, hey, things aren't right. I won't get into it because it's not spoiled yet. So, cut back to the main time, and everybody's talking their thing. They're in calm right now, trying to figure out their next step of the journey. Then, I'm trying to remember how this goes without trying to go into too much detail. Cloud wakes up in the middle of the night to a knock at the door. Him and Tifa start chatting, and as they're chatting, Cloud gets met by Sephiroth, who's like, hey, she died. How is she alive? Oh yeah, and another fun thing, I really liked this one, is Tifa acknowledges that Cloud was not there in the Nibelheim flashback. Like, after that, Tifa's talking to Aerith and says, hey, I don't know how he knows this. He was not there. I like that that's been picked up in this. I really do. It's fun. Anyway, cut back to where I was. Tifa wants to talk to Cloud. Cloud makes his way outside, sees Sephiroth, and is like, hey, how do you know she's real? She was dead. You saw her. She died in your arms. So, yeah. Which then leads to one of my annoying parts, to one of my annoyances in this game. Like, one of my very few actual annoyances of this game specifically. So Cloud goes up, and him and Tifa are chatting, and Tifa's like, hey, I gotta ask you something. Cloud's like, yeah, me too. And Tifa's like, okay, I'll let you go first. Cloud's like, well, that night at the Nibelheim reactor, you got sliced, and I thought you died. Doesn't say another word after that. And Tifa, this is the part that bothers me. Tifa, as opposed to being like, yeah, I know, it was really bad. I did manage to survive. I got saved by people. Gets all sorts of insulted. And her thought process is, huh? You think I'm a fake? No inkling, no give, no nothing whatsoever for her to even imagine that he thought she was an imposter. I don't know why. That's storytelling at its quote-unquote finest right there. If she just comes to the highest conclusion for no reason whatsoever. But she gets upset. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. I thought I was turning my phone off. Gets upset, shows Cloud the scar, and says, yeah, no, I was saved by people and cured. Thanks or whatever. I'm going back to bed. Pretty much is what that is. Cut to the next morning. You get to explore Calm. I think that is... That's not here. That's still here. You get to explore Calm. I like seeing Calm expanded into a much bigger place. Like a much bigger place. It was really cool. You get to go meet with everybody. Red also officially joins the party. You wake up, everybody's gone. Go outside. Broden, he's a hotel manager, says, hey, everybody's outside, out and about, so best of luck. Go have fun. Enjoy Calm. You find Red immediately outside the hotel. It's like, thank you for saving me. I will accompany you until I decide I'm ready to leave. Until I make it to where I need to make it. Red joins the party. They go off. This game has a fun new thing to it. As you go talk to your characters, you have like a buddy system, a friend system. You can say the right things to them in like dialogue, and as you do, you get closer to them as characters. Almost like Telltale kind of thing. Telltale, Mass Effect, just getting closer to the characters. I really like this edition. But you can go talk to Tifa, go talk to Barrett, go talk to Red, you talk to Aerith. Aerith then wants to take you on a date onto a clock tower. You follow her with up the clock tower, you start looking for Midgar, and then you start seeing Shinra troops fall over. Calm is getting attacked, they're hunting for Avalanche. They know we are there, and yeah. Yeah. And yes, I know, people, I've missed a part of Chapter 1, like the opening part of the game. I have a reason for that. I'll get to that in a minute. I have reason for it. So, make your way through the infested Calm, find Broden, he's like, hey, come with me, I'll get you out safely. Yeah. I'm trying to remember all this stuff. Follow him, make it into his little hotel, and he's like, okay, leave. I don't like Shinra. Nobody likes Shinra. Get out of here. Pretty much. Then you are set into your new journey, and a new journey begins. Yeah. So, a new journey begins. I like this one. Yes, because this is the first time you get to see the open world in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You go outside, everybody's talking to themselves as soon as they make the way out of calm. Like, wow, look at the world. It's still green. There's still life. Oh, I'm so glad for this. And Red chimes in, yeah, but if we don't stop what's going on, it won't be like this anymore, so we need to stop it. They then decide we're going to go... They're just going to pick a direction and pretty much walk is what they do. So they walk through those new grasslands, which is really fun. I like the open world part of this game because they've expanded it almost to the degree, and I keep saying this, so I'm going to stop where I am right now and pull out like a PSA. Final Fantasy VII, I will compare to Rebirth quite a bit because right now Rebirth is nearing how 7 hit the market, at least game versus game wise. Because I don't know if I've said this on Games and Gamers, but I grew up playing the older games. Like Mario is my first ever game I can remember playing was Super Mario Brothers All Stars. I think is what it was specifically on the Super Nintendo. So I've played that. So I grew up playing that. My dad would let me, as I got older, play older games after I beat specific ones, just so he can get me built up for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Not Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy VII. I have Final Fantasy VII Remake right next to me, so I keep looking at it. But for Final Fantasy... Is that a PS2 controller? It is a PS2 controller. For Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII was such a different beast compared to every other game because every other game was Mario, Resident Evil, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, small stuff like that, which aren't 40, 50-hour games. They're 8-hour games. Ish. They're not super long, massive games. Final Fantasy VII was made immensely larger than all those games in 1997. And so it hit the world by storm, and it's such a different beast because it's so much more game. That's my biggest reason for these kind of for this game specifically, for the 7 remakes, is they took that massive, glorious, massive game that was leagues above everything else in the 97, and they've made it smaller than other things. If a game from 2014, though it's The Witcher 3, has more content to it than a game that came out in 2020, I'm counting the remake versus this, I feel like the remake has failed. If you have games like this, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which people are saying takes like about 100-ish, 90 to 100 hours to 100%, and you have a game from 8 years ago, Final Fantasy 15, that has more stuff in it, I find it as a fail. And I haven't played through it yet to 100% and say, yes, this has more content than it, but it just feels, in my opinion, it feels like it failed because neither one of these have hit the market and done the same thing as the original Final Fantasy VII. Yes, I know, we're a much different era today. People don't have patience. People are idiots. Like some gamers are idiots. I already said this earlier. But it just not hit the same as other ones. And if I say it's not massive, I need to preface, it's not massive in the same sense how the original was when it was released. Otherwise, people don't seem to fathom it. Like, I've been in a lot of discussions over Final Fantasy VII Rebirth over the past few weeks. But make your way through this world. You see all sorts of fun things. You can go hunting hunting in areas, pick up items. It's sightseeing. It's really cool. You find your way to the Chocobo. You find a Chocobo farm. Nobody's there. Go on past it. Make your way to a swamp. In the swamp, it talks about the Midgar Solum or the Midgar Somor or whatever it is in the Rebirth. I think it's a Midgar Somor. Midgar Zolom. It's a giant Midgar sea snake thingy in the swamp. So, oh no, you need Chocobos to cross it. Go back to Chocobo Farm. You see the guy named Choco Bill, who is the one who gave you a ride from Midgar to Calm, which I like adding a little bit of fun stuff like that. Not that it's wrong. It's just, it's a fun thing in there. So, all right, you need a Chocobo? Go talk to my grandson, Choco Billy, and we will get you your Chocobo. Go talk to Choco Billy. Him and his sister are talking like, yeah, no, we can't give you a Chocobo for cheap. These ones are sold. If you give us 10,000 gil each, we'll give you a Chocobo. Yeah, we can't do that either. Okay, how about this? We got a mangy Choco named Pico. Go capture it. You capture it, we'll give you some Chocobos to go on your journey. Okay, fine. Then you have a fun little mini game in this game. I guess you can call it mini game. I don't know if this one would classify as a mini game. I think it does classify. But you have chocobo hunting. It's stealth based. You have to hunt. You have to go through tall grasses while not being spotted by other chocobos, which is over in the Junon area. I had a very hilarious time because the chocobos, when they look at you, are just so derpy. They know where you are at all times. It's just like their heads are locked on your location, even if they can't see you, and they're just derpy whenever they look at you. It's great. It's stupid. But you catch the chocobo, bring it back there, and get riding lessons, and now you can ride on through the swamp. As you ride on through the swamp, Cloud sees a guy in a black coat, and this right here is starting to show that he might be a little messed up in the brain. I'm not going to go into that detail too much. But continuing on in the swamp, they make their way to the edge of the swamp, and they don't pay attention. Because they see, look, there's a little island over there. You see little spikes jutting out of the ground. Very scaly looking spikes jutting out of the ground. They look an island. They go walk on the island. It's the Midgar-Zolom fight. I'm not a fan of that just because they're idiots. The main cast is because it was made very evident. Yeah, look, there's spikes out of the ground. There's some scales there too. Why are we stepping on it? We know there's a giant snake here. But then you fight a good old fun snake fight, which is really cool. I really did like the Midgar-Zolom fight. Fight it, beat it. Cloud gets dragged underwater, is about to be killed. Then you start seeing some, I believe these are the white whispers. You see whispers again. Start zooming on down, and you see Sephiroth's like, no, not here. Swings a sword, kills the Zolom, sends it flying up, it impales itself. Cloud comes up. It's like, what happened, Cloud? Sephiroth. Well, let's continue on our journey. As you continue on, after that, you then make your way into the Mithril Mines. You're also following the guys in the black coats, too. That's like your whole plot as of right now. And yes, I know I'm missing some stuff. Like I said, I'm holding on to part of it for later. Excuse me. So, deeper into darkness. This is chapter 3. There's only 14 chapters in this game. So, you make your way into the Mithril Mines. The Mithril Mines are really pretty. I'm not going to lie about this game. No matter how much I will talk crap on it, it's still a very, very pretty game. Through and through. So, make your way into the mines, following the black coats. And one of them falls into the endless mine, and Barrett and Red are like, all right, we need to find him, make sure he's fine, or if possible, see if there's any others down there that are fine. And the group splits up, leaving Tifa, Cloud, and Aerith go on their merry way. They go through this cave. They meet up with, after a little while, they meet up with the Turks yet again. Rude, and surprise, there's somebody new. You meet Elena, one of my least favorite characters in this game. Like, wholeheartedly one of my least favorite characters. I hate her voice. I hate her personality. I hate every aspect of her. And it gets even worse whenever you fight her. Because as you fight her, she screams bloody murder. Like, you have, you hit Rude, who'll go, you know, like that. Elena will legit scream at the top of her lungs as she gets hit in a combo. It's very annoying and very uncomfortable because it's so unnecessary. But fight them, beat them. Song shows up. He's the leader of the Turks. Barrett and Red show up too. They have a little standstill. Grenade gets launched off the edge and the Turks escape. They're basically saying, if you don't mess with us, we won't mess with you. Continuing on through the cave. Let's see. Barrett and Red have a boss fight against a Mithril Golem. I really think that's the last thing in that chapter. Yeah, that's really the last thing in that chapter that does anything. Like, they fight a boss. They have some fun about the 2,000 gil stuff, because anytime anybody says, hey, can you do this for me? They make fun of Clouds, like, yeah, for 2,000 gil. That's really all that happens in this chapter, is you fight the Turks. It's a very slow chapter. Very empty chapter comparatively to others. Make your way out. Boom, you're in Junon area. Junon area is where one of the demos takes place. Which is, I like this one. I really like the Junon area. You get a lot of new side quests. You have new summons. The summons are really cool in this one. I didn't talk about it in the Journey Begins. But you can, as you explore areas, you can find, I guess we'll call them altars for summons. That as you interact with them, strengthen your summon or lower their strength in Chadley's fighting simulator, making it easier to get. If you find all of them, they get a new special ability tabbed on top of whatever it is they do. So, Junon area, very fun. It's the new enemies and stuff, new side quests. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else truly. You can do one of the stupid side quests in here is a frog minigame, which we're not going to get into many of the mini games right now. So make your way to the Junon, find a hotel, find the motel. As everything's getting prepared for the motel, as you're finding the motel, you get stopped by a woman named Rhonda. Rhonda's like, look at you peoples. Aren't you interesting? Man, Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa, oh, you're Avalanche. I can get a good fun sum for you. Then she looks over at Aerith. And I can get $500,000 for you, too. Should I? This will help our backwater town. Nah, I'm not gonna. Enjoy our thing. We backwaters watch out for each other. Then they go inside, find the hotel. As Cloud's about to check out the hotel, check in the hotel for everybody, they hear a commotion going on. Go outside. Music starts playing. Chaos starts going. Somebody's getting attacked in the waters below. Under Junon, if you can see it's at ocean level. So, go down and you see a girl in a boat. This is Yuffie from the Integrate DLC of Final Fantasy VII Remake. You get to see her just splashing around, thrashing in a boat, which is kind of entertaining that she just randomly shows up. Like, I had no inkling when she was gonna show up. Like, first time I played it, the demo, story play is the same in the demo. I didn't know this where she was going to show up. She's basically almost shoehorned in right here, which, in my opinion, she gets shoehorned in, but to each their own. But you have to fight you have to fight the thing at the bottom as well, but it's a Terror of the Deep in this one to protect her. Fight it, and everything's dandy. Yuffie then is kind of met by everybody for the first time in a slight sense, as she's unconscious. Cloud's about to give CPR to help out with Rhonda. Yuffie wakes up, says, "Oh my God, you're a creep pervert, raw." And Rhonda's like, "Yeah, no, shut up, Yuffie. He's trying to save you. Are you okay?" "Oh, okay." Yuffie also recognizes Tifa and Barrett, as they are the Avalanche Splinter Cell that she got talked to in the Integrate DLC. That's a lot of talking. So, save her, go up top, sleep in the hotel, and as they're sleeping in the hotel, you get more time to talk with everybody, and you can talk as you're walking through the hotel. We're going to give this one specifically, because this is slightly important. Aerith is talking to somebody. She's talking to somebody whose voice we don't know. It's very childlike. I want to say I may have had an idea of it when I first played. I may not have, I don't know. But, she's talking to somebody, a new voice. Cloud says, "Hey, is everything okay in there?" Red walks out. "Yeah, we're fine." It's a fun little... This is useless in the grand scheme of things, but there's reason for it. So, goes to sleep. Next morning, Cloud's room gets knocked into by everybody with Yuffie, and she has probably the cringiest spiel ever. It's like, "I am the great ninja Yuffie. I am a trained ninja from Wutai. It is my one and only goal to bring Wutai's name back up to the world and make it great again." And she's just cycling stuff. It's I don't know how I feel about Yuffie in this game, I'll be honest. She has so much energy. She has moments, good moments, but she has just so much energy in like the wrong way. And they even pointed out in this game too, which we'll get into that in a bit. But she's basically saying like, "Yeah, I know you guys are Avalanche. I want to join you guys. If nothing else, you need to know what my mission is. I'm here to assassinate President Rufus Shinra." Yeah, so if you want, so just so you know, that's my whole thing going on right now. Let's see. As they're chatting, they hear a motorcycle outside, and one of my least favorite characters, probably in all of fiction, actually, is outside saying, "Oh my God, it's been too long. Come on out and let's have a dance. Come on, let me see them pearly blues of yours." And you go outside and you see Roche. And Roche is like, "Ah, there you go, my friend. I'll see you up there, because I don't want to fight down here. Let's have fun. Bye, I'll see you up there." And he zooms off. You also are told that Rhonda sold you out. By Yuffie also said, yeah, Rhonda sold you out. That this happened like maybe 2 or 3 minutes before Roche showed up. It's like, yeah, right. Okay, fine. You don't think anything I'm saying is true? Rhonda sold you out. She's going to use your bounty to pay me to kill Rufus Shinra. There you go. Then Roche shows up. Barrett confronts Rhonda, and Rhonda hands over a decent sum of money and says, "Okay, go deal with it. I knew you guys could handle it, but I'll go have fun, leave our city, please." And then you got to figure out how to get up. You are told to go talk to Priscilla. Priscilla is a young girl who's shouting like, "Hey, Chaos, help Yuffie!" Pretty much. She was one that was getting everybody's attention when Yuffie was getting attacked by the Terror of the Deep, the bottom swell. Go talk to her, and she's like, "Yeah, there's only one way to get up, and it's through that electrical tower thing there." "Well, how do we get up there?" "Well, I have Mr. Dolphin here. This dolphin can launch you up there, the lightest one of you up there, and he can activate this boat rudder thing and use it like an elevator." Okay. Cloud then has a mini game of dolphin-ing, I guess. Basically just riding the dolphin around in a circle to get him launched up to this elevator. It's... yeah, I guess. It's a dolphin. I got no input on that. The game does have a few mini games. I'll say this right now. It does have a few mini games. I'm on a second playthrough right now. It has a few mini games to it, which I've seen a lot of people gripe at, that there's too many mini games. I wouldn't say that at all. There are definitely a few mainline mini games you have to do, but you don't have to 100% them. Like a I'm trying to find one. You know, well, actually, it'll be in here, actually. There's a minigame in here that's a mainline minigame. And you also have this one here, the New Journey Begins, where you have to do the minigame to catch the Chocobo. But you get launched up to top. You get launched up top and see all these Shinra people. And everybody says, like, what are we going to do? Well, we need to infiltrate the Shinra army. We will infiltrate them, and we will, I guess, find Shinra and chat with him. We'll see how things go. So, Barrett and Red split up. Go wherever. Tifa, Aerith, and Cloud go get dressed up in the military uniform, the Shinra uniform. They then are mistaken for Shinra troops, get thrown into a thing, and Cloud is made commander. Because as they do in Final Fantasy VII Remake, you have a thing in the Honeybee Inn where you have to like hit the buttons as it times with on those quick time events, pretty much. And you go through the quick time events, and the boss lady is like, "Oh my God, you're amazing! You're in charge. Make the seventh command win this thing for Shinra. We want to be the ones that get the praise for it." Yeah. So then you are put in charge. You gotta go find all your troops and make a good little squad, make a good little group. That way you can impress the world and impress Rufus Shinra. So you get to explore a little bit of Junon. You see Barrett, and probably my favorite outfit for Barrett, and he's dressed up in his sailor outfit with a metal hook as his other hand. Not a gun, it's just a hook. It's hilarious, honestly. It's very useless in the grand scheme. It's just really funny to see. But you get your men, your 7th Infantry or whatever it is, 7th Command. Go get this whole mission, get them all trained for this whole mission thingy. You win. Well, I won. You go do whatever. You have 3 sets of it, of just following the quick time events. So for the world, it's the original one where you have to perform on TV, pretty much. That's all it is. But go through that. You can win or lose. I think I won, so I'm not entirely sure if you can lose because I'm just that good. But you win, and you get called up to the front. This whole time, also, you are being watched by the Turks. They know you're there. They have eyes on you at all times. They're letting you do everything you're doing right now. So, Rufus congratulates whoever wins and says, all right, you know what? This group is the most, like, dedicated one, blah, blah, blah. I want to bring those 3 people up here now. So he's pointing to Tifa, Aerith, and Cloud. Brings them up, says, hey, cut the mic for a minute. I thought I'd mute the mic. He cuts the mic, and he starts talking to him. Says, so, ex-soldier, ancient, bartender, I have a proposition for you. Okay, what's your proposition? You leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone. Don't interfere with anything I'm doing. And everything will be dandy. And as they're sitting there thinking, you then cut to Yuffie. Yuffie is scaling scaffolding, because remember, she's trying to assassinate Shinra. Scale scaffolding, makes it where she needs to, throws her shuriken. She gets... Barrett sees her at last minute and says, hey, watch out. And Heidegger hops in the way, saves Shinra from being assassinated, to which all hell just starts breaking loose. They're then talking about that there are traitors dressed in uniform, and they need to be careful. And so Cloud sends Tifa and Aerith down to the dock to a boat to be where they'll be safe, while he will divert everybody's attention to opposite side of Junon so they'll make it out of there. As Cloud starts going through, this is one of my favorite parts of the game, his group of people, his 7th infantry, talking about how they're not going to let their commander go alone, because no telling who could be who. And then you have to run around with your little group of people, and they fight with you. It's hilarious. It's so fun to see them fight with you. As your 7th infantry. I don't know why I keep saying infiltrator is what's going through my head. But the infantry. So, yeah. You fight with them for a little bit until you make it to a big old arena. I have to sneeze. You make it to this big old arena, and where Roche meets you and says, oh boy, my friend. It takes 2 to tango, and the dance floor is all set. Are you ready? Let's go. And then you fight Roche for the first time in this game. And his fight's very similar to how he was in Remake. You can just punish mode and counter him to death. Beat him, and then Roche says, man, you are a hell of a soul. You are a hell of a dude. I'm gonna let you go off. This is not our last bout. Exits that way. Leaves, you make your way to a platform, and you have your whole troop there, and Cloud's eventually like, okay, I gotta ditch these people. He turns around to him, and one of them says, sir, before you say anything, why are you trying to ditch us? Are we not strong enough? Are we holding you back? Or are you the traitor? And Cloud starts to grab for a sword and says, no, you're taking the joke too far, sir. We understand that you are doing your own... I'm going through this one in detail because I really like this. We understand that you have your own important mission that does not involve us. We wish you luck, and we want to see you and fight by your side yet again, when possible. So best of luck, sir. And they give a salute, and Cloud gives them a salute, and they go their separate ways. I really like this little stupid addition. It's small, it's stupid, it's useless in the grand scheme. But man, is it so much fun. I liked this little addition. It was really fun to see some other characters. Like these characters you saw for maybe 20, 30 minutes at most that you get really attached to. But you make your way onto the boat, and boom, you're on chapter 5. Blood in the water. Ugh. This one is iffy. Like an iffy one because you're on a boat. You're basically on a party boat. You're military, and you're here for some R&R. That's how you're allowed on this boat. And you just get to explore the boat, have some fun. You get to do a card game, and this is why I've been holding off on this card game. This is a story beat for it. There's a card game in Rebirth called Queen's Blood. Queen's Blood is I think it's 15. It's 3 down, 5 both directions. Well, 5 over. A card game where you have to play a card game almost like puzzles, kind of. You put down a piece, it'll have a slot going up, down, or to the right, or to the left. And depending on what level is up, so you start off on the far left on your side, 1's across, so you can place down any level 1 card. If you place down a level 1 card that has, let's say, goes up, down, left, right, 1 in each direction, right in the middle, the 2 slots above and below, the 1 above, 1 below, are now level 2 slots. So you can play any level 2 card in that slot. If you manage to get it to 3, level 3. It's a fun card game. I did not like it at first until this chapter. Because you almost have to do it in this chapter. You can avoid it, but you don't have to. But yeah, that's Queen's Blood. It's a really fun game. It has some mini games. It has some like story thing to it, which very much it turns into Yu-Gi-Oh. I want to say, like, I'm in the middle of my second playthrough right now. I'm not to that point yet, but I want to say it turns into some Yu-Gi-Oh nonsense, which I don't know how to feel about it. But you win a card tournament on there, win or lose. We'll go with my route. You win the card tournament, and things are going happy. You're following the guys in the black robes. And that night, after the card tournament, the boat gets attacked. It gets attacked by some of the weird arm screamer. I can't remember what they're called, but the weird, like, tadpole nematode-looking things from the original, from Remake, that were just really annoying. They're Hojo's creations. That's all you need to know about. And you fight them. As you fight them, they also merge with the guys in the black coats into some necromorph-looking monsters from Dead Space. Fight them. All this nonsense goes on. Make your way through the boat. You see the captain who's trying to kill these people, these black coats, because they're causing chaos on this boat. You also see Yuffie there, because as he's shooting the guys in the black coats, Yuffie's hiding in the as a black coat. And she goes, yeah, I'm not one of them. Sephiroth appears for a split moment, and then is summoned in Genova Reborn? Or Genova Life. I think it's Genova Life, actually. And you have a fun boss fight, and you have an actual really fun boss fight. I do like the Genova fights in this game. They're done really well. It's big, epic fights for no reason. Not no reason. But they're big, epic fights. That's what Final Fantasy VII remakes excel at. No matter what. So, fight that. Make your way to Costa del Sol. After you do all that, and things are dandy. Now, Costa del Sol. I did not like this chapter. I did not like chapter 6. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I have it right. Okay. I did not like chapter 6. I talked about the minigames aren't an issue, but this one here, we'll go into that and go into it in a second. But, you go into Costa del Sol needing a hotel to figure out your game plan because you're following the black coats. Can't find a hotel because they're all booked. And lo and behold, Johnny from Final Fantasy VII Remake shows up. It's like, hey guys, Tifa, bro, Barrett, lady, dog. I have a hotel. Follow me. I'll give it to you guys. I'll let you guys sleep there free of charge. You follow him into like the most backwater rural area. It's so far off the beaten path that you don't even know it's there. You wouldn't know it's there. And yeah, you get a hotel. You see this nasty hotel. I hate the design of the hotel. I have to point this out because later on in the game, I went and explored said hotel. 2 of the rooms, there's like 4 rooms in this whole hotel. 3 rooms, 4 rooms at most. 2 rooms are completely closed in, entirely fine. They're not held together the best way, but they're at least closed in. The guy's room where Barrett, Cloud, and Red stayed has a big opening as a wall. There is no wall except the one that connects to the rest of the building, but it's open. And you can literally look out and see, like, this is the issue of why I hate it, is it has a shower there. You can look out and see the rocks. So if you can look out and see those rocks, big opening platform, they can look and see you too. There's no shower curtain. It's just an open-walled shower. So you can go show everybody your ass. That's pretty much that one. That's why I hate that one. But you are right, like all you're doing right now in Costa del Sol is just having fun. It's just a relax. It's R&R. So you go exploring around as Cloud, needing to make your way onto the beach. You have to, in order to get onto the beach, You have to make your way onto the beach, but you cannot get onto the beach unless you're wearing beach attire. So this is where some of the minigames come in. You have to go play some random minigames, get a token, get a ticket, and trade it in for some beach attire. Barrett's already on the beach. You go onto the beach, and him and Barrett, and as you make your way onto the beach, you're watching the coats. And Barrett and Cloud are talking. It's like, man, I feel bad for him, Cloud. Why? Look at them. They don't know what's going on. They're Mako infused. Something's wrong with them. They're like dogs or animals that just don't know any better, and they're getting made fun of. Cut back to the girls, Tifa and Aerith. And I guess Red, too. He's a dog. Lab rat dog. You hear that weird voice, that young voice talking to Aerith again while Aerith's taking a shower, talking about all of life and stuff like that. And, you know, yeah, they're just chatting about whatever. They then decide, let's go out on a town, let's find everybody. Then you have to go through the entire thing of 2 minigames now to, get Aerith and Tifa onto the beach. I'm not gonna go into the details of those mini games. You have to do the mini games. So do the mini games. Get onto the beach. As you're on the beach, as you're with Tifa and Aerith, this one's not important because you don't have to go check it out. But somebody important from Shinra shows up, and then you go to the beach. You don't know, as far as I know, you don't know who's getting out of the helicopter. My brain's frying at the moment. But, yeah, everybody makes their way onto the beach, and then you see Professor Hojo, the big bad villain dude from Remake, come on the beach. It's like, oh, you're here. Alright, this'll be fun. Because he talked about wanting to go check out what's going on with the Black Coats, because it was getting relayed to Hojo while that the experiments were fusing with him on the boat. So now he's here to do some experimentation. So, let's see here. Yeah, you're on the thing. You talk to him for a little bit, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm not here for you, but I guess I could take you too. Clicks a button, and a big old robo-octopus crab thingy shows up and starts capturing the Black Coats. And also unleashing the things. It starts unleashing the things that merge with the Black Coats. I need to remember what they're called. I don't remember what they're called. But he unleashes them, and you kill some of them, and some get captured. Then you start fighting this robot thing. As you fight this robot thing, he's like, you know what? I need some more test subjects. Let me just pluck up Barrett, pluck up Tifa, pluck up Aerith, pluck up Red. All right, Cloud, it's just you. And he plucks up Cloud. And as you're getting plucked up, Yuffie shows up. She had a plan with Johnny that we don't know anything about. She's basically saying, hey, you coward dude, come here. And she starts whispering a plan as you're fighting this robot. As Cloud's getting picked up by this robot, Yuffie spawns in a great old thing. Good old happy dandy thing. With clones of Johnny summoning, I can't remember what he's carrying, but he's carrying something, causing the robot to start collecting all of them. Like all these Johnny clones. And after a second, Yuffie releases a little genjutsu, and they're all Moogle bombs, bombing everything, destroying everything, allowing you to really start fighting the robot. Fight the robot, beat the robot. Hojo is about to be killed by Red, and Aerith stops him, which I don't agree with. I don't agree with in any capacity why she stopped him. I can't see a good reason, besides plot convenience, that she did not let Red kill him. But Hojo runs off. Everybody's there to enjoy their happy dandy day. Next day, back at the hotel, as you're getting ready to leave, Yuffie tries to join the party. She's like, I am the great ninja Yuffie. She goes through her whole spiel once again. Says, I want to join your party. You guys can serve me. And you have a fun little thing that you basically can say, yeah, he can come join us, or no, I don't want you to. She actually wants to fight Cloud, is what it really is. If you beat me, Cloud, I will join your group. But if I beat you, Cloud, you have to work for me. And we can go through all the fun little details of the conversation. But it ends with Cloud grabbing for his sword in a very intimidating way. And Yuffie's like, what? I didn't want to fight. Oh, no. I wasn't expecting this. Abort mission, abort mission. She runs off, runs down the steps. And you take 2 steps in the same direction she takes, that she went running. And she comes running back. Wait, you're gonna leave without me? Let me join your party. Okay, fine, you can join our party. Yay! joins the party. Now Yuffie's part of the group. She just merges on in, and now you get to go exploring everything with her in the group. And Yuffie's a very dangerous character. I want to say she's probably the strongest character in Rebirth because she has a lot of broken abilities. Yeah. So, go continuing on through everything. All the world. You make your way to Mount Corel, which is your next destination, Barrett's hometown. Climb Corel Mountain. Cloud has a weird moment. He has a weird moment of like brainwash moment as you make your way through the mountain, because some of the black coats are walking. There's a bridge that needs to get lowered that they can't go across, and some of the black coats are walking off. Cloud starts trying to walk off with them. He gets told not to, gets sat down. He starts acting weird. Party splits up. They get the bridge lowered. They fight a boss. They protect baby birds. I don't know why. They're like, oh my god, we gotta help them. It's nature. I mean, I guess in the moment I would try to help them, but it's nature. I don't know. I got no words. But let's see. Save the baby birds. One looks like Cloud. Oh, lower the gate. Cloud goes ahead. You have some fun conversation with Aerith wanting to touch Red's feet. Yes, this is a conversation. Make your way to like a train car station. The other group, Barrett, Tifa, and Yuffie, hop in the train car, minecart, ride down the thing, get caught up, and now they're at Corel. Barrett doesn't want to go to Corel. As he enters Corel, he gets met by some of the people. Like, oh, look who the cat dragged in. Coming here to save us yet again. Oh, mighty Barrett. And they're just being very disrespectful. They pour water on him, they pour drink on him, and kind of spit on him and walk off. You then get the idea, you now know the idea, that nobody likes Barrett. And he'll explain here in a little bit. He will explain. So, go on through the thing, go on through the village, you find a doctor. I can't remember the name of the doctor. Dr. Kane? That might be his name. What's the doctor's name? Like, this is gonna bother me. I'm trying to find it. It's a doctor. It's not. Show me. Sheeran. Dr. Sheeran. So, Tifa wants to stop by this doctor because this is the doctor that saved her in the Nibelheim incident. Yeah, where she got her stomach sliced open. It's still annoying that she didn't say this earlier. She just immediately took to the thing. Oh my god, I'm a imposter? Huh. But Dr. Sheeran is talking to them, starts talking to them about cellular degradation, how the soldiers go through cellular degradation. He asks, Cloud, you're a soldier, aren't you? Ex-soldier. Yeah, I hate to tell you this, son. Once a soldier, always a soldier. Your body got altered. It's the same way no matter what. But the cellular degradation, basically, you will fall apart. This is bad. Can't give you any signs, can't help you in any way. So, yeah, best of luck, essentially. Wish there was something I could do, but good luck. They then decide they gotta go to the Gold Saucer to help with some of these things. So, good old Gold Saucer. And they ride this thing, they go up, and boom, they're at the Gold Saucer. And I don't know how I feel about the Gold Saucer. Because I like the Gold Saucer. Don't get me wrong, I like the Gold Saucer. But whenever you first enter the Gold Saucer, the Golden Saucer, the Gold Saucer in Rebirth, you see a big old crowd of people of all things, and then Cloud gets met by Dio. And when I say Dio's a man, I don't mean anything like he's a man. He is a motherfucking man among gods, or gods among gods. He is all muscle. Yes, I know in the original he was all muscle, but this man has muscles on his muscles. Like holy free holies. He will flex and the moon gets hit by his muscle. He is buffer than buff could ever be. I have to say that. I just have to. Have a little mini game with him. Win or lose, you're admitted into the gold saucer. Cloud kind of gets a little dizzy while he's in there as everybody's trying to decide what they want to do. He goes to a hotel, goes to the Nightmare Hotel. Barrett talks about the hotels. Like, is this really what we're using the Mako for? The stupid hotel? You have to. It's funny. You go into the place. Try and get checked in the hotel. Hotel's booked up. Surprise, surprise, a new character shows up. His name is Kate Sith. He is a little cat on a big fat mog. Says, oh, there's trouble? Let me get you a room. And he does some things on his machine. Two suites get cleared up. And they have rooms for the night. Cloud goes in, takes a nap. About 2 or 3 hours later, I think it's 2 hours later. Oh, no, I missed a part. As they're going up to the thing, they get met by Kate Sith again. And he's like, hey, thanks for helping us, but why? I don't know. It's just my job. I like it. You know what else I can do? I can give you fortunes. Let me tell you a fortune. So he tells you a fortune. It's like, what do you know about Sephiroth, eh? All right. It's like stupid ones. Your lucky color is blue. Okay. Next one is, don't fidget with the machine, otherwise things will go wrong. These aren't the actual things. I just want to say this. They're just useless in the these are just absolutely nonsensical. But you do that. Third one, so let me give it a good old college a third try. He gives a third one, and it says, you may find the goal you're needing, but only while sacrifice the thing most important to you. It's foreshadowing, just so people know foreshadowing. So Cloud takes this. Barrett gets upset at Kate Sith for saying this because Cloud is messed up on the head and this messes with him. Understandably, I'd be annoyed too. Something just popped up on my screen. I'm going to ignore it for a minute. Cloud takes his nap. 2 hours later, whoever you were buddy-buddy with best throughout this whole game. Okay, there it is. Whoever you're buddy-buddy with throughout this whole game then treats you to check on you and treats you on a quote-unquote date. I got Aerith on my date night, which I'm excited for because I love Aerith. She's like my favorite female character in Final Fantasy VII in its entirety. There's a second character we'll see later that I love too, but she's number one. But you go through the whole thing. You want to go to the Sky Wheel. So you check out all the rides because you want to check out every location because Skywheel is busy at the moment. Go to Battle Square, you go to Chocobo Racing, you go to like Minigame Central. You go all over the place. And then you can go to Skywheel. As you're about to go into Skywheel, chaos breaks loose. And somebody's attacking people in the Battle Square. You go to the Battle Square and you hear somebody with a gun arm specifically is causing chaos in Battle Square, killing Shinra soldiers, killing people. You go there, you don't see Barrett, you are trying to figure out what's going on, you are met by Dio, and Dio's like, hey, I apprehended your friend, and I was going to let some bygones be, because I know you guys are Avalanche running away, but I'm not going to do that now, because your dude with the gun arm started killing my people, killing the people that are here, so we're going to have some issues. And everyone's like, yeah, no, this isn't Barrett's doing. He shot out cameras. He wouldn't do that. Barrett would absolutely make sure you knew it was him. All right, very well. You have 24 hours to prove he's not the culprit. Otherwise, I will get Shinra themselves involved. Puts a little clip on Cloud's wrist. That way, if you run away, you can't. I'll know where you are. So I'll send you to the underground, the underbelly, where where Barrett was, where we sent Barrett. They go down low, and I also give them a warning. If the underbelly is awful, be very careful, because anything that can go wrong will go wrong, essentially. They go down there. They start, whenever they go to an open area, they get circled by dudes in motorcycles. They get hit in the head with a baseball bat. Cloud does. And knocks him unconscious. I don't know why that knocks him unconscious. The dude has been hit by harder things and been unconscious, but getting hit by a baseball bat by a human being knocks him unconscious. There's some issues here, game. I just want to point this out that is absolutely stupid. This man gets hit by a a deity of frickin' fate.
And nothing happens to him, yet a baseball bat knocks him unconscious. Just want to point that out.
Yeah. So, anyway, you go down, you meet a guy named Mr. Gus, and he is like, ooh, I know all this, blah, blah, blah. This dude with the gun arm, you want to find him? Okay, let's pick one of you guys who I think would be the most suited to work for me to get everything done. The rest of you will be trapped. One of you is an ex-soldier. Cloud Strife's the name, if I remember right. You, points to Cloud. You do what I want. If you can go win a race, I will grant you permission to do kind of whatever it is you want down here. Capiche? Okay, capiche. So Cloud then goes around, looking around. He finds Choco Billy, all weird reasons to find him down here, and a lady named Esther. You have to get Pico up in running condition to race in the Gold Saucer Cup, or whatever it is, to prove that basically they grant freedom to the rest of the group. You get some Gazal greens, or whatever they're getting, Sarab greens, or whatever greens. Given the Pico, you race, you win, and now you're granted free reign to go looking around. You're then also told by Mr. Gus where the dude with the gun arm resides. So you go out into the middle of the desert, big old open deserty area, find Barrett, and it's like, Barrett, what's going on? And Barrett then starts kind of telling the story of what's going on, like why everything is as it is. So he tells a story about how Corel used to be a simple coal mine town. Shinra, Scarlet specifically, came in offering Mako as a good alternative because coal eventually run out. Mako's life planet and is infinitely better. It's an infinitely better power source. It's basically like a it's like a water wheel versus like a 10 volt, like a monster truck engine. That's that kind of difference between it. So they then go to vote with the whole town, the whole village, about whether or not they want to go with it. Which this part bothers me too, is only one person out of that whole group of people in that village said no. And unless Barrett, everything was Barrett's idea, unless he convinced everybody to go along with it, like everybody except for Barrett was no, and Barrett says, yes, we got to, it makes no sense why the entire village would hate Barrett. Just Barrett, not everybody who was involved with it, just Barrett. And like I said, and Barrett's best friend Dine is the only one who's opposed to it, at least in this cutscene. But they all agree to it. They all agree, yeah, I guess we'll go the route and make Mako. They get a reactor put in, which you actually do see earlier on. You also see a weapon. You see a whale-looking weapon thingy in there while you're climbing up Mount Corel. And then you learn they're tutelary creatures, protectors of the planet kind of thing. They're whales. That's all they are, they're whales. With giant materia. And I mean giant materia. And this is the Corel reactor. That was a Corel reactor. So Barrett then starts like saying, yeah, no, the reactor failed. Shinra wanted to cover up their mess, so they burned Corel itself. My buddy Dine and I were going to be okay. Then some issues happened. They're running along. You see a cutscene of them running along a cliff. Dine gets knocked off. Barrett reaches down and starts holding on to him. And Scarlet says, oh, look, some survivors. Shoot them. And they start shooting their arms, taking out the arms. Dine falls, and Barrett loses his arm. Gets a new one put on because he wants to prove a point. I'm here to fight and to get revenge on my hometown, pretty much. So he gets gun arm put onto him. But Barrett knows who did all the killing, because he's out there looking for his friend Dine. Dine is the one who lost it. It was when he just fell. So after a little bit of hunting, you find a good old abandoned dump kind of thing, where Barrett and Dine start chatting with each other. And I really like this I like how this conversation actually goes. If I can get the conversation edited in, I will, because I really like this one here.
Dine, that you?
Hey.
get you out of here.
As I live and breathe, Barrett Wallace.
Come on.
Bless your heart dropping by for Eleanor's birthday.
What?
Hell, Marlene, set a place for Barrett. Yeah, he's looking fit as a fiddle. Huh. Good question. She ain't with him. Where's Myrna? She ought to be here.
Nine. What happened to you?
Though come to think of it, I don't see a gift neither. But you ain't the kind to come empty-handed.
God damn it.
Hey. Hell's his kind doing here? You son of a bitch. Still living on Shinra's gill.
No, man. It ain't like that. Nine! Stop!
Go on, then. Do it.
Please. I'm here to help you.
You? Here to help me? He's here for you. To take the load off your shoulders, right? Same old shit.
Stay back! This is between us. And no one else.
Just you and me, then. Right here. Right now.
And those two fight. I like the fight for the most part. It's cool at first because they're dudes they're even termed. It's gun arm versus gun arm. And after gun arm versus gun arm gets to about halfway, Dine turns into a Resident Evil boss who sprouts some tentacles out of his gun arm, and then he just starts wailing. And I mean wailing with technology around him like a hammer, mace, and all that stuff. It becomes a very much Resident Evil boss. You get him beat, and I know for a fact I'm going to edit this one in. But then you have a fun little scene of Barrett and Dine with Dine's last stand with Shinra. Because, you know what? Hopefully, future Hayden, please, get this edited in now.
Get on with it.
No, Don. It's over.
Over? You think this is over? This ain't even close to over!
Then end it. Kill me. I can't live like this anymore.
Barrett!
Stay away!
You'd like that, wouldn't you? A way out. But where's that leave me? Huh? I thought you wanted to help your own buddy! What? No wise words? Coward! When the going gets tough, he's gone.
Yeah, you're right. About everything. I should have never believed him. But that money... I thought it'd change our lives.
Well, it changed them all right. You know, I can hear her now. Eleanor. As clear as day. Begging me to stop. Give you the benefit of the doubt. Saying you ain't done nothing wrong. But then who's gonna answer for what happened? Oh, I know. Shinra! Always Shinra! What's wrong with me? All the lives I took, just to fill the hole in my heart. Just to fill the void they left. I want to see them again, and I know what I need to do, but I can't. I just can't. Eleanor and Marlene are waiting for me, but I can't bring myself to join them.
Marlene, she's alive. Just turned 4. She's in Midgar.
Look at that. She's got her mommy's eyes. Hair, too.
After everything went down, I didn't know what to do. Myrna was dead. And I figured you were too. All I had was guilt and regret, and the weight of it was too much. But Marlene gave me the strength to carry on. She nearly died that day. House was about to come down when I heard her crying. And ever since, she's been my reason to get up in the morning.
You took my baby girl from me. You knew she meant the world to me. You knew, and still you took her.
That's not true.
You took everything from me. Everything and everyone.
Dad, we could go see Marlene right now.
Look at me, Barrett. You think I want Marlene to see what her father's become?
Stop.
With all this goddamn blood on my hands, how could I ever hold my daughter again? guilt, that weight.
Dying.
Baby, I'm home. I missed you.
All right. So after that fun, gorgeous scene right there, Barrett is sitting there dealing with everything, and you start seeing helicopters zoom on in. More helicopters. Because Shinra was sent to the Gold Saucer to figure out what was going on. And fun fact, the room that Kate Sith got rid of, the suites he got rid of, belonged to Palmer, Rude, and Elena, the Turks. And the head chief of space aeronautics, whatever it is he is. Basically, he's a head honcho. He's the ugly, balding dude in part 1. So, yeah, it's funny just to see the disrespect that Palmer gets treated with this whole game. So let's see. Cloud and company then fight Palmer and a Peacemaker robot, which he has no idea how to pilot. You fight it. Send it off on its own way. You go get Barrett again. Barrett is upset. He doesn't want to fight anymore. And then Cloud gives him some word of encouragement. Yeah, no, you have to fight. Think about Marlene. Think about the planet. You don't want her to die, do you? No, I don't. Then here, take your gun and let's go. And one thing I'm upset about, I'm genuinely upset about, is Dyne did die. That doesn't bother me. He dies in the original. But Cloud picked up Barrett's weapon. Barrett should have picked up Dyne's weapon. That's just me. My opinion. He should have picked up Dyne's gun and put it onto his gun, onto his little socket too, if they matched. And fought with his gun for Dyne's memory. I will remember you, Dyne. So, yeah. I will fight with your memory and with the sins of everything that's happened. I think it should have been something like that. But you are then brought a buggy by Dio. And Dio is like, yeah, no, I heard everything. I know you're not the killer. I want to give you this buggy as compensation. So Kate Sith joins in and says, hey, sir, is this not a bit much? Nah, I want to treat my guests the best they can. And then you have a fun moment after this. Everybody hops in the buggy, and Rude shows up as they're all hopping in the buggy. And Dio's like, oh, I'll handle this. And Dio, in all of his mega massive muscles, goes in and does a hand lock with Rude. And those two are just strengthening it out with each other. And it's great to see this, because Dio's massive, yes, but he's essentially a normal dude going toe-to-toe with a Turk. I know, everybody else in this game is kind of normal. Tifa and all of them are normal people. But they go toe-to-toe. Oh, it's just so funny to see it. But they have a weird little mini game kind of thing where Barrett has to defend the buggy from Shinra and Palmer with his gun arm. Get that and then beat that, and now you're on your way out of town. You want to go to another ruined reactor to check out some stuff, and also look at a terminal. Yeah, you want to go check out a terminal on some stuff. So you then told to go to Gungaga. Make your way to Gungaga through a little bit of world exploration. Kate Sith also officially joins your party. But make your way through Gungaga, through all this stuff. And as are about to make your way in, you get stopped by a little group of people. And one of my favorite things, you get stopped by Cisne. For those that don't know, Cisne is from Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. And not Ever Crisis. It's before Crisis is the game, the older one. But she, at the end of Crisis Core, talked about, I will go, I guess, protect Gongaga for Zack. And she goes back to Gongaga and has been protecting it ever since. So everybody goes in. They start getting settled for the night in Cisne's house. And you start chatting with everybody. Well, I'll only go through one of the important ones because it is important. You go find a house where Aerith is. She gets brought inside. You knock on the door and follow behind. And Aerith is at her ex-boyfriend's house, Zack Fair's house. And she's talking to his parents. And they look at Cloud like, oh, you're a soldier. Do you know our boy? Who's your son? Zack. Zack who? Zack Fair. And Cloud starts going a little bit more bonkers than normal. As he goes a little more bonkers than normal, Aerith realizes what's going on and takes him out of the house. Thank you for everything. We can't stay for dinner. We're on a really important mission. It was so nice to meet you, though. So, you raised a hell of a son. I was assuming how Aerith really said it. It's pretty much how Aerith kind of says it. Takes her out. Aerith takes him out, and she then asks him, hey, so do you know Zack? Be honest with me. He has another little brain moment. Yeah, I don't know him. I can't think of it. I can't think of him in any capacity, any way, shape, or form. So they then go back to Cisne's house. No, as Cloud goes back to Cisne's house, Tifa shows up and talks with Aerith. They have a weird little conversation we don't hear anything about. Then you go back to Cisne's house, and boom, there's a weird booming going on. You need to go check out this old reactor. Something chaotic is going on there. It happens every once in a while. Chaos is ensuing, pretty much. The boys go, not Cloud and Tifa. Tifa's the guy, by the way. Cloud, Barrett, and Red go, leaving Aerith, Tifa, and Yuffie to protect the village. They go to this place, and they do all their stuff. They end up finding Scarlet there. Scarlet is trying to capture one of the weapons, one of these whale monster weapons you saw at Mount Corel. Fight her. Cloud goes a weird bit ballistic and kind of dies off for a moment. Then, yeah, it's a weird way to phrase it. There's specifics for it. But after he fights, he goes a wee bit ballistic. And in a very cool fashion. Because they get surrounded by Shinra troops. And Cloud starts hearing voices. These voices make Cloud do a new move set. And he starts acting like Sephiroth. He gets a whole like Octoslash stance. And he goes Sephirothing through all these people. In a really cool way, and this is where then it cuts back to everybody else. The girls then said, okay, we gotta go save them. How can we get to the fastest? Cisne gives them a green chocobo. They make the way to the reactor. No, the guys don't fight Scarlet. They fight a weird monster. They fight a mutant like you fight in Hojo's lab. I had it backwards. So, anyway, anywho's he does it. Yeah. Go to where you need to go. The girls make their way there. They fight Scarlet, beat Scarlet, and she can't extract the weapon. They retreat, and as they retreat, Cloud gets another weird flashback of, well, not flashback, it's a weird flash of, hey, this lady, this Tifa isn't real. She's not real at all. We need to kill her, by Sephiroth is saying all this. Cloud then's like, you aren't real. You're nothing but a fake. Slices at her and sends her falling into the big old vat of Mako, where she gets eaten by a weapon. And I do want to complain about this part of the game, because, spoilers, this might happen in the last part to Cloud. If it doesn't, I'm going to be really upset that they did this with Tifa. I don't, at least right now, I don't see a reason for this. Right now, anyway, with only Rebirth being out. But Tifa goes through, like, her whole little life. Flashbacks here and there of her growing up, seeing Cloud, in his sense, like, she wanted to go to the Nibelheim reactor. Nobody could believe she would do it, and they kept egging her on. And Cloud tried to stop her to save her. chaos and all that stuff. Chaos. And then she also sees the weapons fighting the whispers, which is really weird because you have the blackish whispers and you have the grayish whispers. And I'm not entirely sure if the grayish whispers, the white whispers, are on fighting with the weapons or something else. Which we'll get into that in a little bit because we're more than halfway through. I don't know. So that's just a confusing part on me that I don't comprehend right now. I'll play through it again. Maybe something will click later. I have an idea. So, Tifa then gets the idea that the weapons are fighting the Whispers, which is also harboring Sephiroth. Sephiroth's like kind of merged with the Whispers, I guess, in a weird sense. And that's what they're fighting. She then gets brought back to the surface after a little bit. As she's unconscious. She's unconscious. I believe Cloud falls unconscious too. They get brought back to Gungaga Village. They wake up, at least one of them wakes up, they start talking with each other. Like all the sentimentality is like, I'm sorry I didn't think you were you. It's okay, Cloud, I understand. I would have thought the same thing too. It's like, how could I survive that? All that fun stuff. It's entirely fine. We know you're wrong. We know you're messed up in the head. And they're about to share a sentimental moment. And in probably one of the funniest moments in the game, Yuffie, through the door, you just hear, kiss, kiss. And it's so funny, because that's what I was thinking, too, is, oh my god, they're gonna kiss. And then Yuffie's like, kiss, kiss, ruining the moment. So, they know their next thing. They are going to continue on. They need to find another one of those terminals. They need to find a terminal to get information on the weapons, as much information as possible, so they know what to do. They know how to do what they need to do. And so they leave Gungaga and all its chaos and are making their way to the Cosmo region. I was looking forward to the Cosmo region. I was absolutely looking forward to the Cosmo region because I love this little mini story, the subplot that went on. I like Barrett's. I like everybody's little subplots they have. I liked Red's the most because that's what this one is. So you make your way to the Cosmo region, not by buggy, but by plane. There is an abandoned airstrip over in not far out of Gungaga that you have to call the commercial pilot. This commercial pilot, you bring that down with some smoke, is Sid Highwind. He takes you to where you need to go, takes you to Cosmo, because it was Red who suggested we go to Cosmo Canyon because they have some Shinra stuff there, so they'll probably have what you need. So Cosmo is his idea. Let's see. Make your way. You get on the Sid plane. Sid flies you. They have a little bit of conversation with us. Like, yeah, Shinra don't own the sky. I can fly anywhere I want. Land in Cosmo, and Sid's like, anytime you need me, summon out clouds. Summon up the cloud, and I'll be there. Now you have a true fast travel. You can travel anywhere you want in the world. And make your way into Cosmo Canyon. And as you're into Cosmo Canyon, Red, who is gruff, been like this whole game. You know, it's like, I am Red. I'm a lab rat dog. Yeah. It then says, oh my god, guys, I'm home! And it is also revealed that his name is now Red 13, because he never said his name, is Nanaki. He's made his way back home to Cosmo Canyon. Also, I do want to point this out right here, because there's a few points of this. Kate Sith is a weird character. Yes, I know this is way off topic. Kate Sith is a really weird character. Whenever you're in Gungaga, Cisne looks at him, and he's like shakes his head and puts a finger to his mouth, and Cisne is like, okay, I won't say anything. Also, he knows a little more than he always lets on. Like, he absolutely knows a bit more. But also, along with that, while they're on their way from Gungaga to Cosmo, the Reeve, he's one of the guys who worked at Shinra, is altering the pictures of the wanted posters of everybody. Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, and Barrett. Possibly Red in there too, but I don't think so. And so they alters it to three completely different people. Which is really funny. In my opinion, just really funny. So, they make their way to Cosmo, and the people, this is where you learn that they've changed the things. They pull up the photos, like, yeah, no, you guys look different. Hey, let me see that. oh, yeah, somebody changed our pictures. I wonder who could have done it. And then Kate says, yeah, I wonder who. So make your way into Cosmo Canyon. You're wanting to find Red. Everybody's just having their own weird little dandy time as Aerith and Cloud find Red. Red is looking for his grandfather, quote-unquote grandfather, Bugenhagen. I said it's Bugenhagen in this one, but I've said Bugenhagen my whole life, so I'm going to stick with Bugenhagen. But Bugenhagen is his grandpa who knows all stuff. Cosmo Canyon is home to planetologists. They're religious, and everything revolves around... It seems like they're almost like Buddhists, kind of. I could be wrong, but they're almost like Buddhists. And this one is the vibe they kind of give off. So, Bugenhagen's like the leader of it all. He can teach you anything you want to know. He's like one of the smartest dudes. It's not the smartest dude in the world of Final Fantasy VII. But you go with Red to Bugenhagen, talk with him, and he starts explaining all aspects of the world. Yeah, Mako, lifeblood of the planet. Everything's gone. Everything's gone. Everything dies on the planet. This is like I'm sure this happened other times before. Like the planet just dies out and everything just dies. This will be what happens if Shinra does or whatever, blah blah blah. So yeah, and also you are told that Red is here for a pilgrimage kind of thing. He's ready to go take on like the trials, Watcher of the Veil trial. Pretty much become Watcher of the Veil is what it is. That's what he comes back for. Is he's protectors. His mother was a protector. His father was too, but his father abandoned Cosmo Canyon at the time of need, and now they hate the father. So, let's see here. Yeah, that night, everybody's talking to the planet as a bonfire, like a ceremonial bonfire connecting to the planet. It's like a once-a-year thing, I think is what it is. And Aerith is talking. She's saying, like, I am an ancient. I'm the last of my kind. Everything's gone wrong in my life. I didn't have friends growing up. I now have met my new best group of friends to the point that I love them. I'm so glad that I didn't... She basically gets very sentimental in a very uncomfortable way. Not in the bad uncomfortable, but she's really open with it. Like really, really open with everything. You then, after all that, talk with everybody, find Bugenhagen. Bugenhagen takes Red and the whole group in tow to a cave. This is the cave of the Gi, where the Gi, which were an old ancient tribe, were sealed off and killed last war. And I don't know if this one's changed. I'm on a second playthrough now, so this could be. But you can't take your whole group with you. You can take Red, Nanaki, and one other person. And Bugenhagen picks Barrett. I don't know if that changes based on game itself, or if it just will always be Barrett. But mine was at least Barrett. Excuse me. So Barrett and Red make their way through the cave, learn all this sort of stuff about the Gi, that they were an ancient tribe, they know some fun stuff. And they find the boss, Gi Natak. Find it, beat it, and make their way out to the end of the cave, where Bugenhagen is talking about this whole time through the cave. We're talking about how one lone Watcher left to go fight and protect the Cosmo Canyon itself, like all by his lonesome. He ended up falling. He ended up getting turned to stone, but he fought it by himself and single-handedly pushed everything back. Red's starting to pick up on this, and at the end of it, you then see good old Seto, Red's dad, atop a pillar, atop a rock pillar, turned to stone. He sacrificed himself to protect his family and protect Cosmo Canyon from the Gi in one final bout. And single-handedly, he did not abandon them like how Red thought. He went back and protected them, saved them from everything, and got turned to stone doing it. And now is a symbol of protection for Cosmo Canyon. I really like this little subplot in this. It's a main plot in this one, unfortunately, and we're going to get into the unfortunately here in a second. And not the Seto stuff, kind of the Gi itself. Nonsense. I'll be about talking about this in a second. But Red gets all upset, and as everybody gets there and starts realizing how upset he is about everything, he's sitting there talking. You let me talk about my father, and he's done all this? Yup. Why? Because you would have wanted. Why did you not tell me earlier? Because you would have wanted to come see him sooner, which I understand. But as all that's going on, they get met by some weird dude in a mask. Floating dude, who I thought was an ancient, like it was the ancients originally were supposed to be like. No, he is a member of the Gi clan. He says, come with me. Ancient. Last ancient. Watcher. Soldier. People with gun arm. Come with me. You follow you follow him to almost like a weird live stream kind of thing. That he says, and he starts talking about the Gi. The Gi are essentially not from his world, not from this planet, so they cannot return to the live stream. So whenever they die, they just kind of sit in limbo forever. And I don't care about this. I'll be 100% honest. Says you go through all this and you're learning about the Gi, how they've always been kind of more attackers. Like they haven't been like war savages, but they haven't been like, ooh, peaceful. But all this all right here eventually leads to Gi Natak, which is who this dude is, talking about black materia. They made the black materia to help, like it was like help them combat and go to the live stream whenever they die, I think is what it was. I could be wrong on that. I'll know here in a second playthrough in 10 hours. But pretty much like they made the black materia and they want the people to bring it back. They want Cloud and company to bring it back to them so they can be at peace, I guess, even though the black materia summons meteor. I don't get this at all. Like honestly at all. I'll go whenever I get to where it actually was in the original one. I'll talk about it a little more. But I don't see a need, as of right now, as of Rebirth, for the Gi to be added into any plot point. I think they were shoehorned in because in the original one, it was like, oh, the Gi were in and out so quick. This game has an issue of it does not let anything mean nothing. Everything everything has to mean something in Final Fantasy VII in the remake series. Everything has to mean something. Everything is too epic. And I know some people are going to disagree with me wholeheartedly. I've seen some people disagree with me, but I feel like Final Fantasy VII has an issue. The Final Fantasy VII remakes have an issue of everything has to fit into the big picture, otherwise what's the point in it? Because look at Johnny. Johnny did nothing in the original game. He was a character you could talk to. That's it. This one, he had a small plot point in the original remake where he helped Cloud get a dress. And Rebirth, he owns a little hotel in Costa del Sol. Why? Why do we need it? Why do we worry about that? Honestly, it's adding small stuff to make it. That one's not an epic one, and that one's 100% not an epic one. It's just, I don't get. They're adding a lot of stuff that, at least right now, means nothing and is just kind of stupid. Like the whole Gi thing, I don't care about the Gi. I really don't. They were villains. We weren't sent there to set them free. We were sent there to, okay, Red, you got to kill off the spirits of these to prove you are ready to go fight whatever it is you need to fight. And that's kind of what that was. Now we have to feel bad for them? No, I'm not going to feel bad for them. I genuinely did not care for this part. Like, that's probably my second least favorite part of this entire game. But everything goes back to normal, cuts to they get brought back to the normal world. And after they get brought back to the normal world, Bugenhagen tells Red, yeah, you aren't ready. And it's all to keep him going on his journey, because he knows how much Red likes his group, he can tell. So he wants Red to keep having fun with his group of friends. So he says, you aren't ready. After you beat this journey, then come back and try again, and I'm sure you can beat it. And now, Kate Sith says, hey, I'm sorry to cut off all this stuff, but there's a Shinra terminal around here somewhere. I need this to get some information. Oh, terminal. Bugenhagen. Terminal. Oh, that's right, terminal. Oh, I tore it apart and made a fun old little contraption up there. Look, it's at the top of the hill. Oh, so it's not here? It is not. Well, Kate Sith, where do we go? And then everybody thinks, and Cloud and Tifa said, what about... No. Kate Sith says, what about Nibelheim? That's not far from us. Cloud and Aerith, Cloud and Tifa then are like, "Yay, wait, Kate Sith has an issue with that. It'll be fine." And now they are on their way to Nibelheim. All right, I had to take a little break and get myself something to drink. So we've made our way out of Cosmo Canyon. Like I said, Kate Sith talks about a terminal in Nibelheim, which they're going to, the Shinra and Nibelheim itself. So, with the help of Sid, they fly back to the Nibelheim region. Back to? Yeah, I guess to instead of back to. Nibelheim region, that's all we need to worry about. And they're trying to find the Temple of the Ancients that hosts... My internet's down. Weird. They're trying to find the Temple of the Ancients, which hosts the Black Materia. Is what they're trying to do. So, let's see. Make their way to Nibelheim. Whenever they make it into Nibelheim, they see that Nibelheim itself, the city that was once burned down, is no longer burned down. It has been rebuilt and is more of a home for the guys in the black robes, the black coats. Black robes? Black coats. Black robes. One of those. And so, good old Kate Sith starts doing a little bit of investigating on the computer for the temple, while everybody else does their exploring. Cloud gets confused. I believe he makes his way to the reactor. Some chaos ensues, and he makes his way up to the reactor. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah, I want to say he makes... him and one of the groups make their way up to the reactor, because... I can't remember why. Why did they make their way to the reactor? I can't remember why they made their way to the reactor anymore. I had it. Oh, no. Oh, because one of the labs are trying to figure out information on Sephiroth's information, because I want to go read they want to see what he saw, read like that kind of stuff to see what actually the chaos and all the BS that's going down. So yeah, they have a group go up there. No. Yeah. Yeah, they go up there. Yeah, they go up there to try and get information. I believe they're just trying to get into the Shinra Manor. No! I remember why. There is there's one of the dudes, a Shinra dude. Shinra, like, high-end dude who has a key card. Last time he had a key card, last time he was seen, he was going up to the old reactor. So they would send a group up there to go get said to get the key card. That way they can, yeah. Yeah, that way they can get into the Shinra Manor, because they can't get into it without it. So, go up there, they get the card, come on back. After they get everything they need, good old Kate Sith, Tifa, and Barrett, I believe, make their way into the manor, because they get the code itself, and they start doing a little bit of exploring in there. After a bit of exploring, when they make it in there, they see a Hojo clone AI who's like, "Oh, look at you. You've made your way in here. Well, guess what? You made it here. Have a nice fall." He like waves his AI hand, and then they fall down even further in like a Resident Evil style dungeon. Make their way through it. They find a fun boss. You're gonna play as Kate Sith. This is the first true time you really get to play as Kate Sith. I'm not a fan of his combat style because he has to summon his Mog, which I guess is entirely up to people on there. I'm not a fan of how they did his Mog. Like, it's fun to see the Mog be its own separate entity that can fight by itself, but at the exact same time, you have to summon it in as opposed to him starting with it. Anyway. Everybody, they get to where they need to be in there, which has some, like, cellular degradation stuff. They find a door, they find a room open, there's coffins, and in this room in one of these coffins, they hear a voice. It's like, "Who dares disturb my slumber?" And good old favorite Final Fantasy VII character, Vincent frickin' Valentine, hops on out and is threatening him. Was like, "Hey, why are you here? You're not supposed to be here." "No, we're here on business. I don't believe you. Show me some proof." Okay. They show the little card. He scans it. Okay. "Why are you here?" "We're trying to find information on Sephiroth." "Sephiroth, huh?" "Huh. Well, you can go check out that library over there." but you can't look at anything else. He also found out, because he looked at the things as he was sitting there chatting with them, he pulls up his gun and says, okay, you may have clearance, but this Mr. Miyazaki is 100% none of you, so tell me why you are here. Then that's where the whole aspect of, yeah, we're here to deal with Sephiroth. Okay, go check out the library room. That's all you're allowed to check out. They check out the library, don't find anything. Cloud stumbles upon a room that shows off cellular degradation and some good old S cells that are kind of causing a lot of the chaos. They make their way out because Vincent says, hey, I told you not to go in there. We're going to have to fight. I'm going to have to show you guys some manners and all that stuff. I'll have to kill you. And really, honestly, a really cool fight in this one. You get to fight Vincent as the Galleon Beast. It was a tough fight the first time because he's very tanky and he hits really hard and he does a lot of combos. This is the first fight that I really started utilizing debuffs and buffs because he was hitting so hard. And I was playing on dynamic mode, so I think that made the game a little bit tougher. I don't know. I've heard that it does and I've heard that it doesn't. Like right now, this one I'm playing right now is on normal mode, and it's definitely a lot easier. But at the exact same time, I'm level 50-something. Like 51, 52. So I'm there. I'm a high level. So, fight him. Say, yeah, we're not here to do anything negative. We're just trying to get to the Temple of the Ancients. We just want to know what we can know so we can hopefully save the world. All right, very well. Well, let me go back to sleep. He goes back to sleep. You go to leave. After you leave, you call down. After you're leaving the Shinra Manor, you see a bunch of black robes just huddled outside, don't know what's going on. And then you see, I believe it's a Shinra helicopter, comes from above with a big old motorcycle, and you hear good old Roche plop on down. Earlier in the game, you had Roche getting experimented on by Dr. Hojo, something with the S cells that was supposed to like buff him up, is what it came off as. But it did not have the same things. I thought this was going to go a lot differently than it actually was. But you fight Roche wants one last tango, and he definitely does not look right. You can see a little bit of sway in his step that, you know, he's not right. So you fight him, and like halfway through the fight, you really see the weakness in him. Like he is swaying, he's struggling, he is just having issues. He then... After you beat him, he falls down and he talks about the degradation. I didn't think the degradation would be this fast. Well, Cloud, best of luck. And then he turns into one of the black robes. I don't know where the robe appears from, but he turns into one of them. And he starts talking about reunion. So after that little sad thing, Cloud really has some issues. And so Aerith says, let's go back to the gold saucer for one good old grand stand, have some fun. Try and get everything off of this. So they make their way back. They go to call Sid, like, hey, Sid, come fly us there. Sure thing. We also learn at this point that Sid knew Aerith's mother, Elmira. And now he just wants to help because mother's dead. He feels awful that the mother's dead. I feel like he blames himself for it. Is what vibe that kind of came off. Even though he didn't know anything about it, he might. That could be a fun plot point in part 3. So he's like, I will help you anytime you need it. Let me join you, and boom, we're friends. Yeah, so they're friends now. So Sid gets them all ready to fly, and as we're getting ready to fly, who else but Vincent Valentine walks onto the plane and says, you're fighting Sephiroth. I have my own mission, but I shall accompany you. And then they fly to the gold saucer. I'm kind of disappointed in this one that Sid and Vincent, the last two party members, you cannot get. They're not like actual playable party members in this one. They should be in Rebirth. In Rebirth and Part 3, whatever 3 is. Let's call it Final Fantasy VII Reunited. They should be in Final Fantasy Part 3 or I will be upset. So, making their way to the saucer, they decide they're going to just have a good old fun night. Everything goes planned the exact same way. And that night, Aerith, as I said, this is just for me specifically. I don't know if this is story beat or not. But Aerith has a date planned. They are going to finally go to the Skywheel. They're going to have all sorts of fun. So, she takes Cloud on a good old little spree to a play where they see Loveless, and you get to have a lot of fun with Loveless, and Aerith performs a brand new written song. And it's very beautiful. Then you go on the Skywheel. They have a very sentimental moment. I loved it. It was so much fun. Now, this one right here, I've skipped 2 parts for reasons, specific reasons. This one here is one of them. So there's been a subplot going on this whole game following Rufus Shinra. Back at Junon, way early on, Rufus fired the Junon cannon. Junon itself is a big defensible point, and called a ceasefire with Wutai, and this cannon, if fired, would break that ceasefire. Rufus fired it as a big, this is my new land. This is my new era. It's time for new stuff. And him doing that broke the ceasefire. After this whole thing, there's been a guy named, what's his name? Lodbrok, I think's his name. Who looks a lot like Cloud. I'm assuming right now he's Cloud's dad. I'm calling it now. I'm sure everybody else has, but I'm calling it now. Has been talking with him about all sorts of things, like you're causing war, and this is the first time Wutai, this whole game, has really done something, and they've officially announced that they are going back to war with Wutai. Wutai is going to war with Wutai. Wutai is going to war with Shinra. And this is like a big thing that's been going on this whole time, because Rufus has talked about making Neo Midgar, finding the Promised Land, finding the Temple of the Ancients that leads to the Promised Land. All sorts of stuff has gone into it. And it's been just a weird little plot going on. Like, it's just him building his empire is all it is, and seeing his stuff in the sidelines. Now, go on your date with Aerith. You go back to the battle square. You get called to the battle square by Dio by Dio. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the name of the other character. I'm about to be here in a second. I remember it now. You get called to Dio because he needs help. He's also really beat up from fighting Rude, but there's supposed to be a fight breaking out. There's supposed to be a fight for who gets to own the gold saucer between Dio and Don Corneo from Remake and Wall Market. And this goes back to the unnecessary. I don't care about this because a lot of this is unnecessary. We'll go into it in a bit. So Cloud and company have to fight Dio and Dio's Cup to more or less make sure that Dio does not take over the gold saucer. And yeah, they fight, they win, they beat Dio, and then the Turks show up. They're actually also fighting for a keystone, because Dio, that's why they're going back to the gold saucer. They have a keystone that's supposed to either be the key to the Temple of the Ancients. That is the key. It's the key to the Temple of the Ancients, and also it's like kind of a compass in the direction of where it needs to be. So they win, they get the keystone, and as they're being granted the keystone, the Turks appear. Rude and Elena for like the 3rd time this whole game. And you get to fight them again. But while it's going on, Kate Sith takes the keystone, and runs off with it. And at this point, you know he is a traitor. So you fight Rude and you fight Elena, you beat them, and everybody goes on the merry way. Then you have Cloud, who stays back because Rufus freaking Shinra shows up again. You have to fight him in another fight, and I found this fight a lot easier than I did in Remake for the first time, probably because I knew how to deal with him comparatively to whenever I first fought him in Remake, because he kicked my butt the first time I played Remake. But you fight Rufus, beat him, and then he just kind of meanders off. You then have to go find Kate Sith. As you chase down Kate Sith through this whole gold saucer, you end up seeing him handing over the keystone to the Turks, to which everybody just chastises him. You are a traitor. We shouldn't have trusted you in any capacity. And they leave him be. And now they got to go follow the Turks to the Temple of the Ancients. And this is your last mission in the game. Like, truly, whenever you start this mission, like chapters 13 and 14, you cannot go back to do anything else ever again. So it'll be, if you don't have everything done at this point, mini games, whatever, then you're in trouble. So they all follow to the Turks to up north to find the Temple of the Ancients. They see it be formed. Well, they don't see it be formed, but we get to see a cutscene of it being formed in the glorious PS5 cutscenes, which I might edit in right now. I hope. But they follow into the Temple of the Ancients and make their way through. The Temple of the Ancients is full of all sorts of puzzles, It's like you have to maneuver the right direction and all that. It's inverted gravity and all that fun jazz, or whatever you want to call it. It's fun, but also it gets annoying because it's really easy to get turned around. So throughout there, you also run into a red dragon, which is a lava dragon, which kicked my butt because he can spew lava that you cannot avoid, and it hurts and can kill you. He killed me three times. I think he killed me 3 times, actually, before I finally just beat him to death. So beat him, continue on. Then you run. Then everybody gets split up. At that point, everybody gets split up, and you get to see like 2 different routes. It is Cloud, Barret, and Tifa go one route because they're kind of getting further into the temple, and Aerith, Yuffie, and Red in another route. Cloud's route really doesn't. I can't remember them doing much of anything. It's just walking through, talking about materia and stuff like that. But you do get to see Cloud kind of going crazy. Like, his personality is entirely changed. He's like, death. Like, you fight some Shinra, like some third-class soldiers, and after you beat him, Cloud goes up to him and is like, death is only the beginning. This is the welcome. And he tries to kill him, and he gets stopped. So Cloud's personality right now is entirely changed. Cut back to Aerith. She's using some of her ancient powers, like drawing in life for like a live stream energy to build bridges and stuff like that, which is fun. Very cool, very fun to see all the mechanics they're putting into this. Go through all of it. Both sides end up fighting Turks and get to a specific point. Reno makes a return, so it's Tifa, Barret, and Cloud facing against Reno and Rude, which you win, obviously. And then you have Aerith, Yuffie, and Red fighting Song and Elena, which I really like that one. I had a lot of fun with both of those fights. Like, truly, I had a lot of fun with it. I really preferred the Yuffie portion of it, though, because it was kind of funny watching, because it was Yuffie. Here's how the fight went, because it's the 3v2. It is Red and Aerith fighting Elena, and Yuffie fighting Song is how my fight went. And she's bodying freaking Song. She's so broken. If I ever do a hard mode in Rebirth, she's got to be like a main character because she is busted. She can have so much damage output, so much healing capability. She is freaking disgusting. So you beat them, scare the crap out of them because Cloud goes to kill Elena and her black suit gets turned brown, and you make your way further in. Keep making your way further in, you start hearing of the Gi. You start hearing of the Ancients. You start hearing all this backstory between all of it. And then you make your way to a room. In this room, it is the kind of where the black materia is. Cloud grabs the black materia, and you can definitely see he's going insane. Like, he's like, mine! Grabs it, and so everything starts going crazy. Aerith said something about it being fake. Cloud says, I don't believe you, you're lying to me. And then the temple starts falling apart. Like, it starts starting to collapse on itself. Oh no, I missed a part. I did miss a part. Prior to this, right before this, as you make your way through, like literally it's like right prior, you have to go, every character goes through their own weird little trial. Like, it's however many doors, there's 6 of them, right? Cloud, Aerith, Barret, Tifa, Red, Yuffie. There's 5 of them. All 5 of the characters, besides Cloud, has to go through their own trial and tribulation. Like, it's flashback. Barrett relives the destruction of his town. Tifa is loss of her mother, I believe. No. Tifa is just like in losing her dad. Yeah, losing her dad. Yuffie's losing Sinon, a friend from the DLC. Red is whenever he first got captured by Hojo, and Aerith is losing her mother, which is very sad. Like, it's very, like, that whole little chunk is very sad. Everybody comes out tougher, goes a little bit forward, and then Cloud starts reliving some of his. And he starts realizing Zack. He starts learning Zack at this point, that Zack Fair he knew Zack Fair, and he doesn't realize anything more than he knew Zack Fair, and Zack Fair was a soldier that got swept away early on in the game. He's learned that, and that's all he knows about Zack, is that Zack Fair exists. Cloud goes through his little trial, then Black Materia, grab it, thing starts to implode on itself. As everything is going on, you see good old Cait Sith start bobbling his way into there, because this little because the Black Materia is floating in a little like upside down pyramid, like a pedestal kind of thing, and as you pick it up, it starts to fall down. Good old Cait Sith took it upon himself to hop underneath it to hold it up to keep everybody safe. As everybody makes their way out, says, "Everybody, get out, get out, get out, get out." Cait Sith, who's a robot, he says, "I'm a robot." He's a robot. It says throughout the whole game that he's just a robot. But Cait Sith gets crushed. Along with Mog, they get crushed. They save the day. After they're outside, Aerith's like, "Oh my God, Cait Sith, he sacrificed himself for us." Then right behind him, he's like, "No, not to worry your head, lassie. I'm right here." And Cait Sith is a robot. They just had thousands of them. He's back. And then you cut to Cloud, who's kind of going weird because the Black Materia is what he's focusing on. And Sephiroth shows up. Aerith steals the Black Materia from Cloud, and Sephiroth is controlling Cloud to go get the Black Materia for him. Because Sephiroth appeared, and over the Temple of the Ancients was a big hole. Black vines start to appear. Sephiroth appears, and Cloud hands the materia over to Sephiroth. Sephiroth then hands it back and says, "Hand it to me again." "Hand it to me again." I don't remember the whole thing, but Sephiroth had it, handed it to Cloud, and then says, "Tell Cloud to hand it over to him." Cloud dropped it, Aerith picked it up and starts running. You then have Cloud chasing Aerith in a really creepy way. All through these vines, these weird vine root thingies, till the end. He gets the Black Materia, gives it to Sephiroth, and Aerith begins to fall off. Cloud falls down with her. And then, Chapter 14. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. Chapter 14 has Cloud and Aerith waking up in a house, and this is why I've saved some of this. So at the beginning of the game, like literally the first 20 minutes of the game, you get to see Zack Fair and his stuff making his way to Midgar, finding Elmira, and not finding Elmira, finding Aerith and protecting Aerith from Shinra troops. So throughout this whole game, you have moments of Zack little 5-10 minute sections of Zack Fair showing up. And what he does is, like, he has his own little story going on right now. His planet, we don't know anything about it. Like, even right now, I'm not entirely sure on it. But his little planet right now that he's in is a dying Earth, we'll call it. Because the world just looks dilapidated. Like, it's gray. It's black and gray. Everything's dead. So his whole story is he finds Aerith and is taking care of Cloud. Elmira finds him, and then they kind of start teaming up, living together as Cloud figures out what he wants to do. Elmira also gets Marlene, and Marlene is a weird little connection thing in this. All this is weird. This is also Biggs. Biggs at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake was shown to wake up. This is where Biggs is. Because Marlene says, "Man, I want to see Biggs. Tifa, Jesse, Biggs, Wedge, all of them are gone." And Zack's like, "Yeah, no, Biggs is alive. I'm sure he is." "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I'll go find him for you." So you go find him. Zack goes and finds Biggs. And they chat with each other about all the stuff. And this is where you kind of start to get the feeling that this Biggs is from our world, which he is 100% from our world, because he starts talking about Cloud. Cloud's been in a coma this whole time in Zack's world. Hasn't woken up, so nobody should know anything about Cloud except for Zack. So, all that fun, good old jazz. And Biggs is the last one, a surviving member of Avalanche. He tries to get a new group. It does not work. He then talks to Zack, and Zack tells him, what you want to do, just do what you want to do, pretty much. If you think it's right, make sure it gets done. Then later on, cut to Marlene learning of Aerith. I don't know how all this really fits in. It's really, really weird. I don't know if Zack is part of our world or if Biggs is part of that one, because it's really weird. But he talks with Marlene, and Marlene says, I don't want Aerith to ever wake up. Why? Well, the moment she wakes up, a big scary man with long gray hair is going to kill her. And it causes him to go distraught and all that stuff, and so he decides, I want to go talk to Hojo. He may know something. As he hops on a bike and starts going to the Shinra thing. He also hears that Biggs has gone to another reactor in order to blow it up. And so he has a weird moment sitting in like on those train cars in the train tracks. Of one path leads to Hojo, one path leads to Biggs. Do I want to save Aerith or do I want to help Biggs? He takes the Hojo path, and then it cuts to him help with Biggs. It's really weird. This game's got a weird like timeline multiverse thing going on with it, which is really funny because I saw so many people adamant that this wasn't the thing, and this right here kind of shows that it is, because he went to save Aerith, then he cut to Hojo, then he cut to Biggs. It's really weird. So helps Biggs in all of his stuff and convinces him not to. We also see that the live stream is empty. The reactor he went to is completely empty, not an ounce of Mako in it, showing that the planet is going to die. There's no hope for it at this point. As Zack talks more sense into him, they go to skedaddle, they go to leave, Biggs gets shot, and Zack fights his way out from Shinra troops. I've been holding off on this point just because the end of the game, Chapter 14, starts with you waking up. Cloud and Aerith waking up from their comas in this world that Zack was in, seemingly. So they wake up and they go on a weird little date. Like, that's what they're going on. They're going on a date. Like, they're treating each other like a true-on date. Aerith is like, oh, look at you, you big meanie. Zack, Cloud, can I get one, please? It's really sweet to see it. Like, it's really, really sweet to see it. Like, you can definitely tell that they're not right, that nothing's right in this area. But they're just having fun. I wish there was more of this in the whole thing. I'm sure there is, because I'm playing through now and learning a lot more as I'm playing through. But I really like the little dynamic with each other. I'm not 100% of the Zack and not Zack and Aerith. Zack and Aerith is my relationship choice, but Cloud and Aerith is always 50-50, especially after this one. It's like, man, I love their dynamic, but he's not right for her. So they go on their date, and Aerith is acting all weird about it, like kind of like acting as if this does not exist, like everything going on, like nothing's gonna happen after this is what it is. Like, I'm ready for tomorrow. Oh, you sure there'll be a tomorrow? Yeah, I'm sure. It's a really weird moment going on. Then you also see stamps. This is where the multiverse thing is coming, because you see a lot of different stamps. It's the Shinra dog. But all these stamps are different iterations, and that Cloud eventually asks, Aerith, please, I'm not an idiot. I know something's going on. Please tell me what's going on. And she looks at him. I guess I can't keep it from you forever. I gotta go take care of something. I need you to hold on to this. And he hands her, and she hands him a materia. Because I believe earlier on in this game, he had the empty materia. He had Aerith's like blank materia, like an empty, just glass ball materia. And in this new world that Zack had, her materia is white, pristine white, like cloudy white, but like a pearl kind of. He, for whatever weird reason, Cloud had the pearl, and Aerith had the clear. He gives the pearl to Aerith and takes the clear, and then just kind of cuts back to like when they fell off at the Temple of the Ancients. They didn't fall off. Cloud caught her, pulled her up. Everything went fine. Cloud passed out, and everybody started going on a weird journey. You have just bits and pieces of them going more north, going towards the Temple, not the Temple of the Ancients, the Forgotten Capital. As they make their way to the Forgotten Capital with Aerith, she kind of vanishes off while Cloud's in his stupor. She's gone. He wakes up, and they start walking through this forest, and Cloud, nobody knows where she is. They just kind of follow Cloud's lead. They kind of follow the direction Cloud says, hey, go that way, and they start following the direction until they make their way to the capital. Everybody's also talking with Cloud, too, which is weird. Like, they know it, like, it's like, this is the end of the line. We got to say all this fun stuff now. So they make their way to the capital, and the capital is really cool. It's really short. The capital itself is really short. If I was not in the middle of a mission right now, I would actually go hop into it. But I'm literally in the middle, like halfway through this. So anyway, in the capital, they are blocked by whispers when they're about to get to where they need to be. White whispers. Everybody starts doing their damnedest and ends up busting on through, letting Cloud be the only one to walk through. Cloud walks through these white whispers, and you have one final bench. You can do whatever teammate stuff you want to do, and you start walking to like a church kind of thing. You see Aerith sitting in the middle on her knees praying. As she's on her knees praying, you start walking, walk closer to her, and the white whispers start pushing into Cloud, trying to get him to stop. And they just keep pushing and pushing until it gets harder, until Cloud gets right there. He busts through them, and you look up and you see Sephiroth coming on down with his big old sword while Aerith is praying. Cloud, doing whatever it is Cloud does, grabs his sword, puts every ounce of oomph he has into it, and swings to stop Sephiroth's blade. They clash. Sephiroth is sitting there just cackling. Cloud is struggling. He breaks the sword off of Aerith, and she is saved. And then a weird little thing flashes of the whispers start disappearing, and it then cuts to the sword stabbed in the ground and blood running down. And you see that Cloud did in fact fail at saving Aerith, and Aerith has been stabbed with Sephiroth's sword and has been killed. A very heartbreaking moment, especially in Rebirth, because in the original one, she dies in the original one. It's like this is one of those like game things you cannot spoil anymore. Because everybody, if you consider yourself a gamer and you don't know this plot twist of Final Fantasy VII, you cannot consider yourself a gamer. It's like movies. I know people who have not seen Star Wars and still know the Luke, I am your father kind of thing. Or is it no, I am your father? Star Wars. They know the Star Wars thing. And if they know anything. So if it's not spoiling it. But then a bit after everybody gets to where Cloud is, it starts in my opinion like where a decline of this game is, like one of its weakest parts in this game. I said earlier, this game makes epic for no reason. And this fight here, this whole final fight, which took me I think an hour, because I died on the final part of this boss, and we'll get into a little complaint I have with boss fights itself, which some know, some don't, who've played the game. The fight is kind of out of left field, truly. Not the first part of it. You fight Genova Reborn. This Genova Reborn is like the final Genova thing, which you fight at the end of the Forgotten City in 7. Beat it, and then everything starts going to hell. Cloud sees himself in a weird temporal space thing like he did at the end of Remake, where him and Sephiroth fought, and then he said, no, you're not ready yet. But as opposed to just being good old Cloud, Zack shows up too. And Zack and Cloud fight Sephiroth, fight him, and Sephiroth's like, yeah, no, I don't like this. Send Zack back to his world. in a weird temporal loop thing. I don't understand this. And then Bizarro Sephiroth appears. Bizarro Sephiroth, for those that don't know, I'm going to spoil this, is like the technical first phase of the last boss of Final Fantasy VII, like the original Final Fantasy VII. And you fight this one like you would that one. It's multiple phases. You fight it as Cloud. You fight it as Zack. You fight it as 3 of the group. You fight it as another 3 of the group. In a very annoying way. It's very out of proportion. I do not understand why this fight exists. It's so unnecessary. And I'll get into that here in another minute, once I'm done with everything. So, you beat that, then you have the final fight. Cloud is staring down Sephiroth in like the world that never was kind of thing, and the world, whatever, the world between. Kingdom Hearts, it's a mirror world where Charity lives, is. And Aerith appears, and you two fight Sephiroth in one ultimate final epic battle. Beat him. Aerith says her goodbyes, and everything goes well. Cuts to everybody at the Capitol just mourning the loss of Aerith still, after Cloud dumped her in the water and let her rest. And they all say it's time to leave, and they skedaddle out of there. Then it has them one last time as Sid's fixing his plane. Everybody's getting ready for the next part of the journey, the final part of the journey, because it'll be one part left. And Aerith is walking around looking at all of them. Like, as everybody's reacting, like Barrett's doing his own thing, Aerith's watching. Tifa's crying her eyes out. Aerith's watching. Zack talks to her for... Zack. Damn it. Cloud talks to her for a minute. And, then she goes... Everything goes back. It goes back in. Like, and he still has the black materia as they go on the final thing. And he's telling them, don't look up. If you look up, don't be alarmed at what you see. They look up, there's nothing there. One final hint that something's wrong with Cloud as they all get in the plane, start the plane, fly off in the plane, and end of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, this was 2 hours. Shit. Now, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, no matter how much hate I will say, I do love this game. I had a lot of fun with this game. That's why I'm playing through it a second time. Like, immediately after I got it beat, I started another one. I haven't been able to just play it off and on like I want to, considering all-around gaming and work schedules. But I'm ready to play this game again. I'll probably have this game... I'll easily have over 150 hours in this game, probably by the end of 2024. Easily. Hell, I may be over 150 come the end of this one. I don't know yet. But Rebirth itself is such a good game. I have my complaints, which are me as more of one who's played the original, which I already said earlier. Some people are idiots. They don't seem to comprehend that this game, as massive as Rebirth is, let me get a drink. As massive as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is, it does not hold a candle to Final Fantasy VII in the same vein of it. And that's my biggest complaint, is why they've split it up, truly. That, and it's also one story. If you want to go learn the story, go play the original. Because as of right now, aside for a thing here and there, it's the same story. All the story beats have been the same. Some dialogue's different, and some different. Like Tifa fell into the live stream. Cloud falls into the live stream of the original one. That's the only super big thing that I can say has altered any quote-unquote story beat. Truly. Everything else has really happened the same. And so that's, it's my ultimate complaint, truly. I don't like that they split the story up, because it's cash grab at this point. They're expanding it, sure. Not going to argue they're expanding it. It's cool they're expanding it, but they could have expanded it and still sold it as Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS6 for $100. And I don't want to hear the people out there, because this has been an actual thing. They'll come in and be like, well, actually, it's going to be like $300 because they're selling 3 full games. And this is just one, idiocracy by that, because they want to look in the past and be like, yeah, they released a game, they released a second game, they released a third game. Well, that's right there. It's $200 actually. It's what it is, not 300. But it still doesn't prove any point at all, because they'll release it as a single game. Is the whole thing. They'll release it as a single game, not 3 separate games bundled into one. It's just idiocracy. It's truly idiocracy. They made one game into 3 games. Cash grab. I don't care what anybody says. I like the games. It's a cash grab. I don't fucking care. Truly what it is. But Rebirth itself, I don't see very many issues with it. Some story moments I don't agree with. Tifa early on. Tifa had her annoying moments in there early on in the game, like literally in the first 3 hours of the game. She gets mad at Cloud by coming to some random conclusion I don't know how she came with. Some story beats like that really bother me here and there. It's not like an awful thing. The biggest issue I truly have with this game is the final fight. Not the Genova part, the Sephiroth part. Like, I guess a Bizarro Sephiroth, or what, Sephiroth Reborn in this one. And Sephiroth. I don't like it. It does not make sense. It makes not a lick of sense for Sephiroth, for this Sephiroth to be here at all. And I'm not going to spoil why. If you haven't played the original, go play the original. You'll have already beat this game by the time you've beat Rebirth and Remake put together. Probably. If you haven't, I don't know how. But it does not make sense for this version of Sephiroth to be in this game. The only thing I can say, which everybody says, calls me an idiot because I don't seem to understand anything. They're idiots themselves. I explain my way finally, and they're like, yeah, no, it's wrong. But it just does not make sense. At least in Remake, you fight the Arbiter of Fate. You fight the Arbiter of Fate, and it's fine. It makes sense. They're defying fate. The Whispers have been built up the whole story. You fight that. Sephiroth has been built up this whole story. Not fucking bizarro, multiverse spending, bending time Sephiroth. In any capacity. Even with the thing in Gungago and Tifa fell in. He was messing with the Whispers. The Whispers had nothing to do with the final fight. Kinda, truly. He would use them in some of his attacks, but that's really it. It's just, they wanted to put something big in here to put it in here. And this is the whole issue of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was made too epic. And yes, I know, I'll get chastised for saying it's too epic. But they made too epic for no reason. The Gi, there's no reason to put the Gi in. The story isn't gonna, they're changing the story, truly, with the Gi in there. Like, whatever they do with the Gi, unless they leave it out. Unless they leave it out entirely, like they did with some story beats in Remake. If they leave it out, then that'll be stupid. Then why even add it? Like how I have with Remake. But overall, this game is fun. If you want to spend the time, you can easily spend 100 hours playing this game. I say do it. It's fun. Play Remake first. That way you at least have some story. Like you at least know story things. And some things are going to be like, oh yeah, I know this person. Because there's sometimes you'll see people you know. But go play it. It's fun. Rebirth is definitely fun. As of right now, it's my game. It'll be my game of the year for 2024, probably, unless something really, really surprises me this year. But yeah, I really want to, like, this is a good game. I can't give it too high, though. I'm probably going to, at most, I can give this game an 8, at most. Like, the final boss definitely, in my opinion, cuts down a lot of it because it makes no sense in the story. Not the Cloud and Aerith fight part, just the big old Bizarro Sephiroth fight. Makes no sense. It's cool. They should have saved that for the final bout. Like 100%, this final fight should have been saved for the final fight. Is what it should have been saved for. That would have been fine. That would have been epic. Everybody fighting through the dimensions fighting, but here's how they're going to end it in part 3. It'll be Zack, Aerith, and Cloud fighting Sephiroth. Or I'm calling it now. Like, the boss fight is annoying. That's not even annoying. It just makes no sense, and I dock it a point for that, honestly. And the other point I do want to dock it for is just the epicness of it. Because right now, a lot of story beats, cut out Chapter 12. Cut out Chapter 12, the story doesn't change too much. honestly, yeah, sure, they lose a thing. Like, cut out the Don Corneo stuff. No need for the Don Corneo stuff. They win the battle square, they get the thing, everything gets stolen. That's fine. Let's see. Cosmo Canyon, the Gi. We don't need any of the Gi stuff. That's, yeah, it was an hour. That's 48 minutes wasted. Gungaga is 50-50. Gungaga is cool to see, but nothing in Gungaga really gets talked about again besides the weapon. Finding the gold saucer for the first time. Left Behind I liked. Fool's Paradise. Costa del Sol had a lot more added to it, and I don't see the need for it. So, like, you were in Costa del Sol for 5 minutes in the original, and you're out of there. They expanded this to like an hour or so. So that one can be cut. Same for the boat. The boat is Dawn of a New Era was fine. Like, there's some of these chapters that were added and were just added to add in time. And that's where another one of these ticks comes in. It's fine, it's fun. But in the grand scheme of things, it's just a waste of time. Truly. So I gotta give this game a good old 8. And this will also be our last game of the season. Season 1 of Games and Gamers. We're going to go on a new journey. New old room, new old house. We got everything prepped. That's why I'm going down to visit Danger, because we will be recording the Season 2 premiere. Stay tuned for that, in which I'm saying right now, I'm hoping with every fiber of my being that it is going to be us discussing the games we've already played through Season 1 and how we would change some of them. So let's take Silent Hill. If I took Silent Hill, and what would I do to make Silent Hill higher than, I think I gave it a 6. What would I do to make Silent Hill higher than a 6? What would I do to make Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth higher than an 8? Just stuff like that. So I got nothing else. Hope you all enjoyed. And since we're here, I might as well put in my Season 2 outro. So peace out, everybody!